The Ariel Helwani Show is back in your life on this Wednesday, November 27th, 2024. Hello again, everyone. You know what the problem is? You know what I'm workshopping here? It feels weird saying my name after she just says my name. However, if you remember my interviews on site for many years, I would always say, Ariel Helwani here in New York City alongside so-and-so. So it's just something that we're workshopping, as they say.
I think two Ariels make a right.
You know yourself, Frank. I will say the feels good. It gives me a moment to kind of take it all in, a moment of zen, if you will. It's been Thanksgiving week all week long here at Uncrowned HQ. As you can see, we are on the last stop before Thanksgiving. Whoop, almost just stabbed myself there. And this is Thanksgiving Eve, which has now become somewhat of a holiday here in the United States. Very quiet around the streets of New York, but not quite here, my friends. Number one, we're not just an American show. It is only an American holiday, Thanksgiving. There's a lot of people out there who are working tomorrow, and so we are here to, well, not do a show tomorrow. We won't have a Boys in the Back tomorrow. We won't have a crack tomorrow, but we are here, full show on a Wednesday with a lot going on and a lot to get to. And you know we love to shoot on Wednesdays, and you know we have On the Nose, and you know there's a lot going on in the world of combat sports as always. I'll tell you about this weekend because, yes, this weekend doesn't have a UFC event, but you do have the PFL Championships on Friday. You do have Misfits on Thursday. You do have a domestic dust-up on Saturday afternoon. And you also have Survivor Series on Saturday evening. So if you are jonesing for combat sports, there is a lot of combat sports coming your way this weekend, in addition to the usual stuff, the NFL, the Premier League football, all that stuff, and more. Today on the program, we're going to be joined by a guest that I have been so excited to speak to. I've been wanting to speak to this guy since the hiatus, really since I saw him fight in Paris in late September. That's when I really said to myself, I need to have this guy on. I need to speak to this guy. I need to learn more about this guy. I need to find out if he's one of us, because I kind of feel like he's one of us. You'll recall that Bryan Battle fought a man named Kevin Jousset in Paris. And I think as of right now, end of November 2024, I do believe that he is the front runner for promo of the year. It's one of the great promos of all time. In my opinion, it's one of the best promos in the history of the UFC because it's not just about the promo. It's about the interaction with the crowd. It's the way the crowd reacted to him, and it's the way he then reacted to the crowd. He'll be joining us on the show today. First time I speak to him. Can't wait to talk about that moment and his entire run so far. He's a great character, and he's returning to action next Saturday, UFC 310 against Randy Brown, an important fight. By the way, in case you don't know what I'm talking about, I wanted to play that promo for you all because I can't stop. I've been listening to it all day. I love it. I think it's just phenomenal, and it's so good because of the crowd. The crowd deserves a lot of credit here. If this is an Apex fight, we don't get this moment. One of the many reasons why I don't like the Apex for these big fights and these big fight cards, because you don't get these types of moments, these magical moments, crowd, fighter, everyone's game is elevated. Anyway, I'll stop yapping. Here's the moment I'm talking about.
Mike, I gotta say something right quick. Yeah, keep booing me, baby. Keep booing me. I love it. Listen. People been booing me and doubting me since I started training. I love it. The more you boo me, the stronger I get, baby. I'm used to this. Y'all can't stop me. Keep it up, baby. Keep it up. Y'all can't stop me. Hey, USA this baby. Yeah, let me hear it. Hey, I know y'all didn't think the Butcher was gonna lose in a fist fight to a French dude. I know y'all did not think the Butcher was gonna lose in a fist fight to a French dude.
I know y'all did not think the Butcher was going to lose to a French dude. I mean, it's just amazing. And you hear the crowd. It reminds me of of Wu-Tang, and it reminds me of like the sound of Triumph with the bees. The crowd is so fired up. It's just so deafening in there, and he reacts to it, and he rises to the occasion, and it sounds like a swarm of bees, and I know, y'all didn't think the Butcher was going to lose to a French dude. I mean, it's just fantastic stuff. Promo of the year, he'll be joining us. I could talk about it all day long. Michael Chandler is also going to join us to, of course, talk about the loss to Charles Oliveira, where he goes from here. I don't know if you guys saw his leg. He posted a video of his leg recently, and I think it was yesterday he posted. He was in the sauna. Take a look at this video here, because this might be one of the most gruesome injuries or aftermaths to an injury that I've seen in recent years. Look at this. Look at this right here. What? Look at that. What is going on?
Would you do that?
What is happening there?
I think it's like his shin is swollen, and that's what he's pushing in.
Yes, I understand, but how is it staying there? It's like one of those toys, and you press in like with the clay.
When you're like retaining water.
Yeah, it must be really swollen.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Real nasty.
Not
pushing
sure I've ever
hard
seen
too.
that. Not sure I've ever seen that, if I'm being honest. So we'll talk to Michael Chandler about all of that. But first, we like to shoot on a Wednesday. We love On the Nose. And we have some breaking news, Frank. Our very first brand deal has been secured here at Uncrowned. We've had sponsorship deals and different types of partnerships, if you will, but this is a big day because today marks the very first brand deal, the launch of a relationship that I hope will last for many, many years to come. And what I love so much about this particular partnership, if you will, is that I believe in this brand. This isn't just like, hey, they brought me a piece of paper. They're like, okay, today's program is brought to you by so-and-so. I've used it. I know the owners. I know about their story. I know about their backstory. I believe in them. And I'm so honored that they are our first. And I'm so honored that we are able to rep them on this here program. And so let me tell you about my good friends over at Aviron. And let me tell you about the founder, Andy, and his partner, Inessa. Two fantastic people who I've had a chance to spend some time with. It's a tremendous story because they are as mom and pop as you can get, in the sense that they are doing this on their own. There's no massive corporation behind them. It is a true blue Canadian company that is taking on all the big corporations and doing a phenomenal job of doing so. Andy's a guy who loves to work out, maybe a little ADD, gets a little bored with the workouts. They could be a little bit boring. And he thought, what if I can gamify the workout? What if I could bring fun games, interactivity, watching different things? What if I could bring that to the workout as well? And he has nailed it. First with a rower, now with a bike, and also with a treadmill. There's the bike right over here. You could see it right over there. And what's so great about it is, like I said, it's not just, okay, hey, let me jump on this thing and, just watch a workout, watch someone telling me what to do. No, you can play a ton of games. And in addition to that, you've got on-demand workouts, scenic destinations, live competition, entertainment platforms like Netflix, Prime Video, Disney Plus, Max, Hulu, Paramount Plus. You can stream all of that right now. We have a link right over there, avironactive.com/uncrowned. You can go to that link right now to learn more about the rower, about the Aviron treadmill, about the Aviron Fit Bike, about the Strong Go rower, about the Strong rower, about their litany of great products. And I've used the rower. You've seen me probably show it on my Instagram. My kids love it. Sometimes they just sit there and watch stuff or play games as well. Great for everyone. Great for the whole family. And like I said, true blue, hardworking, lunch pail, hard hat, good people who are trying to make working out, staying in shape, fitness fun. They've gamified it, as they say, and I love everything about it. Now, I wanted to say that from the heart because I believe in them, and I'm so proud that they are a part of the family. I'm so proud that they are believing in us as well. That's just my own testimonial. That's just me kind of riffing, but I also want to read this ad read here because they deserve that, and I want to tell you more specifics about the brand. So, as you guys know, workouts shouldn't feel like a grind. That's why I have made Aviron a part of my fitness routine, and let me tell you, it's changed the game. Aviron takes exercise to a whole new level using gamification. Yes, you can play actual video games while you work out. Powered by their award-winning Aviron World software and paired with industry-leading hardware, Aviron's rower, bike, and treadmill deliver the best workouts I have personally done in a very long time. I've been using the strong rower for a while now, and I'm absolutely hooked. In particular, love to see what I could get. 2 minutes, 500 meters, let's go. They also recently released the Aviron Fit Bike, which we've been using here in the studio, and I won't lie, it's a little addictive. I get so into the games that I completely forget I am working out. Once you start, you are locked in, competing head-to-head, racing against the clock, or chasing your personal best. They've got multiplayer games, races, on-demand classes, scenic rides, and the most streaming options I have ever seen on any one of these types of workout machines. I'm sweating it out, getting competitive, and actually looking forward to my cardio days, which makes it way easier to stick to the routine. Right now, Aviron's Black Friday sale is on, so you can get your best prices of the year right here and now. Plus, you can head over to avironactive.com/uncrowned. Get an extra $50 off. That's Aviron, Aviron, active.com/uncrowned to end boring workouts. We even have a bike in the studio, and we have an Aviron bike cam. There it is. Look at that thing. Yeah, right in the studio at the Uncrowned HQ. Look how nice it is. Beautiful stuff. The guys jump on there, get the blood, boiling, get the body moving. It's a beautiful thing. So thank you so much to Aviron for their support. I really do appreciate them and happy that they're a part of the family now. All right, let us get into things. How about that? Southside Fox #1, ArielHelwani.substack.com is the place to be for all the questions. Okay, this is one that we've gotten a bunch of times in the past. Who'd be each of your picks to replace Dana? What do you think it would take for him to leave? I mean, people keep talking about the Dana thing, and they talk about like, oh, is it going to be DC? Is it going to be Chael? Is it going to be this guy, that guy? The UFC is so big that they may not even need a new Dana if and when he ever leaves. And by the way, Bob Arum is still around, and he's 92. Vince McMahon was around into his late 70s. So I don't think it's happening tomorrow. And I'm not really sure why everyone's so obsessed with this question, because he gives no indication as to any desire to leave anytime soon, really. But yeah, we get it asked all the time. If I had to nominate one person, it's probably Hunter Campbell, if only because he's like the second in charge, and he's the one who's most involved in the business side of things. And again, ultimately, you need someone who the public and the media believes is actually making decisions, like a figurehead. Like One Championship tried this with Rich Franklin, and other people have tried like putting in figureheads, and it kind of usually falls flat because, to be honest, no one really believes that they're decision makers. So if I had to pick one right here and now, it's Hunter Campbell. And I've told you in the past, he's the one who's really doing a lot of the business deals at this juncture with the fighters. And now you're starting to see him out and about more. You're starting to see the fights, or the fighters, I should say, crediting him, talking about their relationship with him. And then when they had that Roku documentary series, he was a massive part of it. FTMMA. I think my question got lost in all the political nonsense last week, so I'll try again. Ariel, before UFC 309, we saw John Jones pull out of a scheduled interview with TNT's Adam Catterall, referencing his close relationship with Tom Aspinall. I think this was a real shame, as I feel Adam is a true professional and is only rivaled by yourself when it comes to interviewers in the MMA space. That being said, how difficult is it to balance personal and professional relationships in sports media, and what is your opinion on John refusing the interview? I mean, I thought it was silly, to be honest. I do think that Adam is a pro, and yeah, sure, he may be English and he may have relationships, but I've never seen an interview where he's talking to someone fighting an English fighter or a UK fighter or a European fighter, and I felt like he was unfair to that person. And, John is allowed to speak to whomever he wants. He's fully allowed to decline any interview. I don't love the way he did it. If I'm being 1,000% honest, I do give him a lot of credit in the aftermath. You see him go up to Adam and explain further. If that part didn't happen, then it would have been really crappy. But at least he did that, so maybe cooler heads prevailed. In the end, unfortunate. Not the first time someone's declined an interview. Won't be the last. Just a very public one. And I'm actually kind of surprised it turned out to be such a big deal. Adam didn't deserve that. If I were John, I would just do the interview. And sometimes those interviews where there's a little bit of tension, friction, end up being the best interview for everyone involved, including John, where he can have some fun and be like, I know that you're a Tom guy and blah, 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 blah. Just answer the questions and move on. Like what is really controversial about an English person interviewing you on that fight week? I mean, he was talking about John, a whole host. Like, if he wanted to avoid the Tom topic that week, he certainly didn't do that. He talked about him more than he ever had. So I thought it was unnecessary, but this has happened before. It happened to me, and it's happened to me with John. I've experienced John has come a long way when it comes to media. But I've said this before. The experience in 2015 going over there to do the walk and talk was not a fun experience. And because he overthinks things and he goes back and forth and he's got a million people in his ear telling him, no, you shouldn't do this, you should say this, you should take this out. And so it gets to be a bigger thing than it actually is. As far as balancing personal and professional relationships, look, we're human beings and we're going to naturally at times get closer to some people as opposed to others, but I give a lot of credit to the ones who are able to say, like, look, I trust that you're going to keep it down the middle. I trust that you're not going to be unfair, that you're not going to hit me below the belt, so to speak, and I'll do the media. And especially when it's a partner of the UFC, they get those interviews as part of the deal. It would have been an interview. It would have been 10, 15 minutes. It would have been a thing and everyone would have moved on, and then it turned into a bigger thing because it was declined. I'm not sure who released that interaction. Maybe it was TNT. That stuff tends to be better for the brand, the network, the reporter, because it makes it out to be, a thing. But again, credit to John. Once again, I do believe Adam asked him a question at the press conference and he answered it. And I think he even complimented the question. So kind of much ado about nothing. Adam's been in the game a long time. I'm sure it's not the first time someone has said, no, I'm not interested. It might be the most public example of that, but I'm sure he didn't lose too much sleep over it. And it could have been avoided, but again, this is just a part of the game, and I don't think anything horrible happened as a result. John just kind of overthinks these things, and he's entitled to. It's fight week. He can pick and choose whomever he wants to speak to. We shouldn't necessarily hate on him for that. Jamal 2020. What is the real story behind the audio issues? The real story, there is no real story. I mean, there is a real story, but it's not that interesting. I guess there was some sort of routing issue, and there's another show that is taped in this same facility. It's a Yahoo Finance show. It's like an 8-hour show. I think there's different shows within the block of time, and I think the routing issue caused their feed to come onto our show, and I think something from us went on to them, except it wasn't Rampage's audio. I think it was just his picture or my picture. So something got crossed, and these things happen when you're putting on multiple shows at the same time. That is a very, very, very elementary take on what happened. Am I missing something?
No, that's correct. No,
all right.
Salacious. It was a routing. They got routed some of our stuff. We got routed some of their stuff, and the engineering team over here got it sorted, and all was well. Shout out to our fine folks at Yahoo who took care of it.
But if any of you are looking for a sloppy audio engineer, get at me.
Yeah.
It was Frank's fault, but I was trying not to say that, but
Yeah.
he volunteered now.
Just send over the request.
I do feel bad for Frank. I felt like everyone just kind of blamed you off the jump.
Who the fuck is we?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, after the show, I was like, man, my head hurts a little bit. And he was like, oh, yeah, well, you haven't been getting shit on in the chat for the last 4 hours. I was like, all right. I'm sorry to hear that, Frank.
Yeah, it's. Listen, I'm going to tell you, Frank. We love you. We will forever back you. You are one of us.
Hit the who the fuck is we?
And we will never throw you under the bus, and we will never blame you, even if there is.
Who the fuck is we?
Even if there is an issue that is your fault. Even if there is an issue that is your fault, we will never blame you.
But it actually was not his fault. It was no one's fault.
No, it was not his fault.
Oh, hey, PT, how are you?
He's got himself muted. That was Frank's.
That was Frank's fault. That was Frank's fault.
No, that was PT's fault.
Physically unmuting himself.
Yes.
But Frank is very, very, like, you know, he's very on top of me with the mute button, you know? He's really, really rigorous in his mute button.
I know, because if you leak out over the air because you forgot to mute, everyone's going to blame Frank.
So he makes you, and then by association, he's at fault because he made you mute. I get that. I agree.
For what it's worth, Frank, I love you, and I think you're a magical, magical person.
Yes, we all love you.
All this flattery just brings a smile on my face. Keep it coming.
Yeah, just don't fuck up again. Okay?
I'm looking at him right now. He's not actually smiling.
I want someone to spice this.
It's been a ton of fuck ups.
We've always got your back to one of the moments where we didn't.
Bakri, salut de Montréal. How does the fighters' entrance music selection work? Can they choose any songs they want? Does the UFC then have to go get the rights for these songs? Wouldn't that cost a fortune? How long in advance? Okay, it's a lot of questions here. Basically, they get to pick. In the past, Dana White has sometimes said, don't like these songs, and or this particular song, and they've had to pick a new one. Or there have been some times where Dana has picked the song for the fighter, Lorenzo as well. I think they're a little less controlling when it comes to the music these days. My understanding is they don't have to get the rights. They don't have to clear it, per se, for the live, but for the replays they do. So that's why sometimes when you watch Fight Pass or a clip online or on YouTube, you'll hear some sort of generic track. It's awful because it very much is a generic track. It's like the guy's walking out to, I don't know, Run This Town by Rihanna, and then all of a sudden it's Aldo walking out to like bing, bum, 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 bing, bum. It's tough. It's actually legitimately tough. So yeah, so that is something they would have to pay for, but I don't believe for the live they do, or the the pay-per-view broadcast, the fight night broadcast, etc. And it's up to the fighters. There have been some classic. We actually debunked a myth. I believe it was it on The Boys in the Back where
The Halo?
The Boys in
yeah.
the Back.
Yeah, the one of the most famous cases of this was, I think for the longest time we thought that Mike Perry asked for the Halo video game song.
Yep.
But then they gave him Halo by Beyonce. And then in the walkout, he's like, this is not what I asked for. And then I think on The Boys in the Back, you guys revealed that in fact what we thought was the case actually isn't the case, right?
Yes, because he lost the fight. He never did the post-fight media. I can't believe this never came out, after that fact, but he never did the post-fight media. And it turns out he had submitted Halo and then changed to a different song, and then they played Halo. So he was rattled, but then delivered one of the best walkouts we've ever seen on the back of that.
Yeah. So thank you for debunking that, because I think everyone just ran with,
a Halo video game, yeah.
Or that they screwed him over, or that they screwed it up, et cetera, et cetera.
Well, they did mess it up. They just had it right from what he initially said.
Right. Ariel, War 135. I acknowledge you as my tribal chief. However, y'all got to start putting some respect on Cyborg's name. This is written by Rick. If there were a MMA Mount Rushmore, Cyborg would have to be on it. Please consider these 3 quick points. If Jones and Anderson are eligible, then she is eligible. She started in 2005, won a major title in 2009, and then won another major title 15 years later. She is 17-1 in title fights and 7-0 in title fights since her last loss. Compare that to Anderson, Aldo, or even Nunes, who is 2-0 since her last loss. You cannot tell the story of women's MMA at any point without mentioning Chris. Please give her the respect that she deserves. Who hasn't given her the respect that she deserves?
My brother.
What, I don't even know what is he talking about?
I will say.
Is he talking about like a full-on? Because I when I talk about Mount Rushmore, I do men and women.
Yeah.
Is he saying if there's one Mount Rushmore, she needs to be on there?
I guess so. But as somebody who agrees, I'll say it again. I have Chris Cyborg as my women's MMA GOAT. I know controversial. Most will say Amanda Nunes. We can have that debate another time. But I don't think the way that people attack Chris Cyborg's resume is that she hasn't been dominant. It's that the level of competition she faced at certain points throughout her career is not equivalent to others. Now, I would make the case that the dominance for that amount of time is kind of offsetting there. The head-to-head battle with Amanda Nunes that she lost is what a lot of other people will point to. These, I think, are the things that people poke holes in terms of, if you're trying to make the argument for one or the other, that's the direction to go. But I don't think anybody doubts Cyborg's dominance. Like, as long as I've been watching MMA, Cyborg has been a staple and just been destroying the competition. And now we see her in the tail end of her career beating young, hungry, nasty, savage challengers like Larissa Pacheco. Like, she is a marvel of MMA. And I don't think anybody would deny that. I think the case that is made when you're trying to make a case for somebody else other than Cyborg is the level of competition. If you look down the resume, she did not face at all times the same level that would be existing in the UFC. But that is not her problem. That is not her fault. She is a 145-pounder. That division just doesn't really exist. As we saw, the UFC tried it. It just does not exist. But there are great fighters like Kayla Harrison, Larissa Pacheco. She got to fight Pacheco. She never got to fight Harrison. It just is what it is.
I'm seeing via social media here in the chat that I have drawn the ire of the Cobra Carl Froch. I haven't seen. Carl Froch has a very popular YouTube channel.
What did you do?
I think I haven't seen it because I'm just seeing it now that people are saying that he is mad at me, that he told me to keep my mouth shut. I guess it's because
I imagine it was related to something with Jake Paul, but what? What could you have possibly?
Well, the only time I mentioned Carl Froch was when I said that in America, he's just not as well known as an American fighter of the people that Jake Paul is fighting right now. And I said that him and Tony Bellew, I don't remember when we were talking about this, but we were. And then I said that like he's one of those guys who, first of all, I have the utmost respect for Carl Froch. He's a freaking legend. Part of me kind of feels like, wow, I can't believe I was mentioned on the great Carl Froch's YouTube channel. Yeah. I've made it as a boxing pundit, even though he's calling me, I think, a total buffoon. Here's the thing: there's a bunch of people who do the gimmick of like, Jake Paul, you suck, you're a disgrace. You're a schmuck, you're ruining boxing, all this stuff and more. But please pick me, give me the lottery ticket. I'll beat you with one hand behind my back. So you do the thing where like you're above it and you would never lower yourself, but then you're saying, please, give me the chance to shut you up, and I'll do it for $100 million with one hand behind my back and both my legs tied. So like we know what you're trying to do. You're trying to get the payday. I get it. But just be honest about it. Just be like, yo, I'll give you a fight and I want the payday and it will be a great fight and I'll sell the shit out of it and that's it. So I think he's upset that I said that maybe in America, 80 or so thousand people supposedly may have seen him fight against Groves back in the day at Wembley Stadium. But, here in America, he probably doesn't sell out Hammerstein Ballroom. And that's not a shot. It's just some people. No, that's just some people are big in the UK and some people are big in America. That's like, is that a shot? I don't know. I mean,
no, it's not. I'm messing. I'm on you.
I was there. I love Tony Bellew, but like I was there. I saw it. No one reacted to him standing up. And again, I think that's what he's referring to here because everyone's saying, "Oh, the Cobra."
We're trying to listen to it, get sound on that, so we can.
Yeah, I'd love to react to it. We haven't had one of these in quite some time, but I think I've drawn the ire of the Cobra, which kind of feels like I've been like, have I been anointed? Is this a big moment for me, Pete?
Wait, it's incredible. And I mean, you even dropped his claim to fame when you were
80,000.
I don't know if you know, he fought in front of 80,000 people at Wembley Stadium, Carl Froch. He is, of course, a legend. He was also on the McGregor train, I believe, after the Mayweather fight, right? He was trying to get that one going as well. I understand what you're saying, though. Like, it is kind of hypocritical to be like, you're so terrible, fight me, former world champion.
I will do it. I will do it. Yeah. I will do it for the sport. I will do it for the... And I actually like his channel a lot. I think he's
doing great, yeah.
The stuff, really the good. Channel's good. The Q&A with his wife, they're a great duo. I'd like to have him on the show. Maybe we could debate it. I
think this is the way we get it done.
This is it.
Open forum, little debate between Ariel and Carl Froch.
Yeah, I don't know.
Get Ade on. Be like one of them face-offs. Get Ade in the middle.
Ade in the middle. And you and Froch.
A face. But what is the issue? Do we know what the issue is?
GC's listening to it now for
You're
sound.
A buffoon, Ariel.
GC, tell us what the issue is. We don't know what we're talking about over here. We're boxing noobs. How dare we speak about the sweet science and ruin the sanctity of the sport? Is that it?
Hat, by the way.
He uses the clip of you and Ade talking about Carl Froch and Tony Bellew And,
Okay, so that's what I suspected.
Yeah. He just kind of reacts to it. Says you're talking bollocks. He's dipped his toe in MMA, but he would never talk about it. And says the inverse for you.
That I should keep my mouth shut.
You're a noob, Ariel.
I'm a
You're
noob. Hey, by the way,
did you see the thumbnail I sent? Useless clowns, and it's a picture of you.
Oh my god.
Nikisa.
wow.
And Gareth,
What Gareth? Poor Gareth.
Poor Gareth.
Poor
What did
Gareth.
It's gonna
Gareth
be great
do?
when he sees this and he's just like useless clowns for boxing. He's like, let me go back to my producer, and he's wearing a fucking turkey hat.
A clown. First of
Look
all,
at these fucking clowns.
Gareth, I mean, I don't know what Gareth said, but Gareth's been covering boxing forever. By the way, if it's on the Ade show, which, by the way, you can watch right now on the DAZN boxing.
It was actually the Ariel Ade show with a picture of you from the MMA hour.
What the fuck,
And
guys?
it was just an MMA journalist, Ariel Helwani, with the sounds.
You know,
No credit to Ade, actually. Ade wasn't even mentioned.
He
Yeah.
said, "You don't know what you're doing. Maybe
Yeah, Ade got no
return
strays.
that. He's not. He doesn't have the shows right. He doesn't quite have it. down.
Yeah, I mean, if you're going to take a shot at this,
video. Sounds like an amazing video.
A, get the show right. B, get the picture right. C, I want Ade's face on that thumbnail, too.
Ade's face needs to be on there, but credit to Carl Froschman. The setup is great.
Yeah, he's
with
got a
the-
nice setup.
With the YouTube plaque in the background, and he's got the boxing belts, a couple nice bottles of tequila.
We must
good
make
production
this,
value.
We
Good
must make
production
this
Can we
value.
possible
drop
to
a
happen.
link for Carl Froch's page? Just in the
Yeah,
comments?
shout out to Cobra Casino as well. I don't know if
Yes,
it's a real
shout out to
casino,
Cobra Casino.
but he always talks about it.
Looking bloke, man. Straight across airline. He's doing well for himself.
Nah, he's doing great. But I'm actually more honored than anything that he's listening to my commentary. So anyway, if I offended him, well, I'm not really that apologetic because I don't really know what I said that would offend him. I guess he's mad at the notion that he.
You said that Carl Frosch, Jake Paul does nothing in the States, and he
Yes.
begs to differ. He says it would be massive.
What? Okay, this is the issue? Then I'd gladly debate this. I'd gladly debate that. Carl Froch versus Jake Paul is a nothing burger fight here in the United States. Do you guys disagree?
No, I agree.
Nothing burger. People will be like, who? What? What YouTube channel is he on? And then you would direct him to the Froch on Boxing YouTube channel to be like, oh, is he another YouTuber? They just don't know. There's a difference between, British boxing, domestic dust-ups, if you will, and global boxing. At one time, he was a name in global boxing. I'm well aware. But in today's day and age, and you also understand the audience that Jake is tapping into. It's the same reason why I've even said it myself, and this is just, the facts in my opinion. Jake versus Jayo Pataya doesn't do as much as Jake versus KSI. Does anyone disagree with that?
No,
Like
that's very obvious to anybody.
these are different audiences. Anyway, I just hope when he talks about me, he talks about me as DAZN Boxing's Ariel Helwani, because or you could just refer to me as Olympic host Ariel Helwani, or 15-time, soon to be 15-time World MMA Award Journalist of the Year Ariel Helwani, or Emmy Award winning Ariel Helwani. I did get an Emmy for SportsCenter in 2020. Who, me? One. Or Real Sports correspondent. I love when they try to whittle me down to just MMA journalists. I mean, we've been doing a little bit more. Or executive producer / executive editor of the global home of combat sports, Uncrowned.com. Or no, I'm kidding. Okay, I'm done. Sorry. Anyway, much love, peace and love, Carl. You're invited. Let's have a debate. How about this, Carl? We'll fly you into New York. You come here in studio. We'll debate whether or not Carl Froch versus Jake Paul puts more butts in seats than what? What are we talking about? What's the litmus? KSI versus Jake, or Jake Tommy 2, or I don't know. What's another one? Like all of the above.
All of the above.
What does more? What does more in 2025? Jake Canelo or Jake Carl Froch?
Oh, come on.
Jake versus. Is it a net like Jake Jayo Pataya, Jake Carl Froch?
I don't think there's really like a barometer for that, because I don't think those track. Like and this is what I have. I mean, this has always been my point about the Jake Paul experience. The real top level boxers versus Jake Paul, I'm not particularly interested in that. I don't think the public is either.
Yeah.
Carl Froch is too good to fight Jake Paul, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if there's a strong demand, and the juice isn't necessarily worth the squeeze. Anyway, peace and love, peace and love. By the way, we have that rower back there, and it looks so damn good. And I told you guys that we use it, but I actually want what I say, rower. Yes, of course, it's the bike. We have that brand new bike. It just came out. It's hot on the market, and I thought it would be fun maybe if we can actually put our money where our mouth is here. And,
Oh, you're going on it?
no, absolutely not. I can't. I got to do the show. But
we'll take over.
No, don't worry about it. We got it.
Me, Pizzi, and Rick while you go.
All right, Pizzi, you're hosting now.
Get with the Blanche. Get with the Blanche here, and I'll just do it for the whole show. I'll be talking to you while I'm on the thing.
It's been a while. It's been a while. It's been a minute, as the kids like to say, since we had an old school competition here on the program. And so, since I'm talking about the games and all the cool functions and whatnot, GC looks revved and ready to go. Rick's on this fitness health kick. Why don't we do an old school GC versus Rick battle?
Because I'll smoke him.
GC's like an athlete at this stage. It's fucked up.
He is
Yeah,
a
I'm in jeans right now. I'm in jeans and some dunks right now.
You got a hat on too.
Did you go to the gym today, GC?
Nah, we're recovering from an illness, so I have a built-in excuse.
Oh, here comes the excuses already. Okay.
Yeah.
Good.
That means
what do you guys say? What do you guys say?
I'm in.
Okay.
Who goes first?
I'm in.
What are the stipulations? GC versus Rick. What are we doing? 1 minute sprint, 30-second sprint, 2 minute sprint.
No. 1 minute.
1 minute
not 2
sprint.
minutes,
Not 2 minutes. That's a lot.
Okay, 1 minute sprint, 60-second sprint.
8-2. I mean,
Who could get the higher output?
Yeah, I think that GC, you in?
yeah, dude, are you kidding me?
Okay, who's going first?
I'll go first.
I was going to do coin toss. You're just going in.
You have a coin?
No, I don't, but I was
What
going to
is it,
find something.
1986?
I was going to find
Is
something.
it just loose
All right,
change
how about this?
over there?
Let's
I have a number
figure
from
it out.
one number from 1 to 2. Rick, you go first.
number from 1 to 2. 1.
Wrong. GC, you go.
1.
No.
All right, I'm going first.
Yeah, gee, there you both sound.
I love this.
All right.
All right, Rick goes
Rick,
first.
you go
I'll go
first.
I'll go first.
Let's follow Rick.
You set the tone, and then I can just beat it. Big Tour de
Go on,
France
Rick.
guy. That's how it
Go
goes
on,
in like
lad.
the time trials.
That's me having you, Rick.
Oh!
Oh, look at that
Oh,
shot.
there he is!
Look at that shot. And there he goes. Yes.
Oh, he's got the sweats on.
By the
I
way,
am.
is Rick wearing track pants?
Yeah, I'm
What?
I'm fucked here.
It's the day before. It's the day before Thanksgiving, so I was like, I'm gonna come in casual.
This is
By the way, PT, what do we make of the track pants? The Adidas
I
three
love
stripe
them, man.
specials.
They look so comfortable and also athletic.
this is
I have to say,
fantastic.
Every
Yes.
You were
time I
wearing
get on the
Nike
bike,
ends
I
on
can
for the-
never
Oh,
get
look
my
at this
left
shot.
foot in.
Look at this shot. GoPro shot.
All right,
Rick's POV.
what's up,
here.
baby?
Yo, this
All right,
is
here we go.
incredible. By the way,
Look great,
I'm
Rick.
praying to God that there are people in that come off. There's people right over there.
You can see people
Everybody's
in the
right
background.
here.
Yes, this is
Everybody's
amazing.
wait,
Okay.
hold on. We're actually going.
Oh, here we
Here we
go.
go.
3, 2, 1.
60 seconds on the board. Full steam ahead.
Shit,
New York
I forgot
Rick
to change the resistance.
on the
Still
bike.
can.
It looks like Guitar Hero.
Yeah. By the way, why would you want to put the resistance up? You'd want
Because
to
I
make
can get more output if I'm
Oh, that's a good
if I'm
point.
pressing
Oh,
harder.
What is the
Right.
parameter? Like, do we have a number? What number are we looking for?
There's an output.
He's about to set a number, and then I have to beat it.
Okay.
All right, let's go, Rick. Let's go. What are we at time-wise? Give us an update.
37.
37.
Look at the hips going on this guy.
I mean, look at that speed. Look at that form. He's looking like a young Floyd Landis. Not quite Lance Armstrong just yet, but very Landis-esque.
I
How are you
should have
feeling?
put the resistance higher.
What are you feeling? What are you feeling right now?
Nothing.
How's the cardio?
Good.
Sounds
Too
like
good.
Too good. Okay, what are we at? Time-wise.
10 seconds.
10, 9,
Come on, Rick.
8.
Come on, boy.
Push.
Come on,
7,
man.
6,
Have it.
5. Come on, dig deep. 4, 3. All right, that was it. What do we get?
11.9.
11.9. Okay, so what's the mistake? What did you do?
Too low resistance. It
Too
was
low.
Easy.
Look how tired he is. though.
Wow, he's breathing like a motherfucker. I'm kind of nervous now. Look
Look,
at him.
he's
He's coming
pissed.
out like a champ.
I think he's actually pissed.
11.9. I'm going to absolutely smoke this.
All right,
gonna kill
you're
it.
up. You're
Are
up.
you going now? You go now, GC?
Yeah, you go now.
I'll wait for Rick to get back in there, huh?
No,
And
just
to be
go.
fair-
Just go ahead.
to
Go
be
ahead.
fair, like just
All right, one more
I've
second.
actually seen Ariel has this rower in his gaff as well. When I was in
All right,
his gaff,
11.9. That's the number to beat.
Yep, that's the number to beat. Output 11.9. 60 seconds on the board. What are we putting? What are we putting the line at right now?
Huge mistake.
Well, tell us.
GC minus like 500.
Look, you're kind of out of breath though. Some people are saying that you need Austrian.
Sprint, dude. Like,
It was a sprint.
It's,
Is it the gout? Was it the gout that was?
look
holding
at
you back?
that. He throws off the jacket. Oh my God. You see this?
Yeah.
The man in the arena. Here he comes.
Okay, here's the thing. Very good point. I want to give a shout out to Plus Money MMA. GC, you can hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, brother.
Plus Money MMA says that you should put it on the same resistance as Rick.
Oh, wow. 30 resistance, that's what he was on?
Yeah.
Okay, I think that's fair.
Yeah, okay, I like that. I think.
How do you feel about that? How do you feel about that, GC?
Yeah, sure. I guess that works.
11.9 is what you have to beat.
Yeah. I just need a second to. I just got to reset it. We have a whole production.
You got a
team
warm
back
up,
here.
huh?
They're just sleeping on the job.
Okay, are you nervous? How are you feeling?
No, I'm not nervous at all. Jeans. I don't know what camera is looking at me right now. But
No, GoPro.
GoPro. We're right
GoPro?
on you.
Let's go. Let's get right up in this thing.
Yeah.
Dominate him.
It's so good. It's so freaking good.
All right, here we go. Hold on.
Okay.
Look how easy this thing is, man.
It's a-
The interface.
look at that. You see all the
interface
games?
is just absolutely so easy. That just switched to my profile. Aviron makes it seamless, man.
We love our friends
It is.
over at
It is
Aviron.
kind of addicting, and it's pretty fun.
All right, here we go. Lightning lap. We're gonna go 2 laps. We're gonna go 1 minute,
Yes,
and just like that. You see how easy that is? All
right.
right, so I have to keep this at 30 resistance.
that's.
Feels like
You don't
I
have
think
to.
that's
You don't
fair.
have to.
I think that's fair. I think that's fair.
Lesson learned. I
In the
messed
interest
up.
of fairness.
This feels like a
In the interest
critical
of
area.
fairness.
In the chat right now, give us the odds. Some people are saying
Oh, this
minus
is too easy.
1,000 for GC right now.
Oh wow.
Oh, and we're off. All right, we're off. How are we
Some
feeling
Bo
early
Nickel
on?
numbers
Oh, I
here.
feel fucking great. I mean, prime Lance Armstrong right here. Tadej Pogacar, for
on
those
EPO.
that know.
He's on EPO, lads. It's so obvious.
Are you
Look,
pacing yourself? Because it feels like Rick
There is no
going
pacing.
harder.
This is a 1 minute sprint, man. This is easy money right here. I'm already at 5.7. I'm absolutely leaving this
Oh
dude in
my
the
God.
fucking dust.
5.7.
What was it, 11.9?
Yes.
Oh my God. 30 seconds in, I'm already at 8. This is over. This is
Keyless
is Jake
Jr.
Paul,
is
Mike
saying
Tyson.
That he hopes Rick loses.
whew, 23 miles an hour right now. I could be on the freeway.
Take your foot and stick it on his neck. Just stick it.
The resistance was
There it
too
is.
low. I
15
was going
seconds
too
to go.
fast.
We're already at 11.9.
Wow. Rick, your thoughts. You're fuming right now.
The resistance was too low. I was going too.
Oh, we're going to
fast.
get to 15.
Yeah, I know.
I was getting to 20 in practice on 50. The resistance.
Oh, 15.3.
Are you going to double him
He's
up?
done it.
There he is. 15.
job, GC.
Wow.
I'm not even breathing heavy.
I'm going back. Hold
Here,
on.
listen.
No.
Winner
Rematch.
learns.
walking
Winner
through the
learn.
fucking
Winner
party
learn.
right
Winner
Rematch.
learn.
Maybe you know what? Maybe rematch later in the show or next week.
Nah, save it for next week.
All right. I
but
love this.
I'm now having seen his output. I'm fairly confident that I'm gonna like destroy him.
I've made a critical error. Rick warned me to bring my wallet, and I forgot it. And now I'm.
Oh, now you're
I'm
stuck
not inclined
outside.
to get him.
now I'm
Yeah,
locked out of
no,
the
I'm
studio.
honestly not
leave
inclined to get
outside,
him.
Frank. It's an amateur move right there. Oh, someone's helping him out.
Look at this.
Shout
Look
out
at
to
this production
Tyler.
team.
Yeah, shout out to Tyler. Leave him out there, Tyler.
He's staying. He's staying. Yeah, big mistake on my part. My legs were actually going too fast. It was not. There was no resistance. It was bad mistake by me.
Can I just make
Wouldn't have learned.
Can I just make a comment right now?
Yeah.
I think I would double both of you up.
All right, let's see it. Let's see it.
The bike's still ready.
Yeah. Maybe
Let me hop back on there with 50. I'm gonna crush.
50 is tough, man.
Nah. 50.
Both
50
of them are kind of out of breath. Right?
15.3, the number to beat now?
I mean,
50
it's a sprint. They're gonna
50
be
is
hard.
tough.
Out of
but you
breath,
want,
man. I just walked
you
through the
want
park.
it to be tough.
I'm not even breathing right now.
It was too easy that the legs. His strategy was actually smarter. Pacing was actually better. But on 50, you can
15.3, the
metal.
number to beat.
next week destroyed.
It's like you're interviewing someone after they fall.
I
do you know
freaking
what
love it.
You know, it's
He should have been able to pick any resistance he wanted though. That's not
I could have gone to 70 and like
Should've
maybe
gone
I could have put up a number if you let me get on 100 resistance.
same.
You would have seen these
Listen.
thighs come out. I would have started churning.
Next week, when we get the rematch, I think it would be cooler if both of you pick whatever resistance you want, and because you're both now coming out with these theories. This should have been better. This
Yeah.
should have been better, and we'll see. Round 2
I'm going to start blood doping.
next week. AvironActive.com/uncrowned. It's a tremendous time. There are that's tip of the iceberg stuff right there. Great people, great product. The bike, the roar, the treadmill to come. Thank you so much to them. And that's one of my favorite segments in the history of the show. And I can't wait for next week now. Wednesdays just got better here on the program. Back to the questions. Ben P, some quick fire questions for you guys. True or false, Merab fights Umar next for the title? I say true. Anyone disagree?
I think so.
Okay. Did everyone go home?
I think they were just chatting about
Okay.
just experience.
No, we all agree. We agree.
Okay. How about this? If you guys disagree, just speak up. Gun to your head. Who does Sean O'Malley fight next?
Umar.
Wait, Sean
Jan.
O'Malley?
Oh, sorry. Jan.
Jan.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah. True or false? Conor McGregor fights in 2025, given the recent news.
No.
You think no? Not even back end.
No.
Yeah, tough one. I'll go with you. True or false? Tom Aspinall's next fight is against John Jones. I say yes.
Yes.
And lastly,
These answers from PT.
who will have fought in the UFC again before the end of 2025? Nate Diaz, Jorge Masvidal, or both? Masvidal. I think Masvidal might come back in the spring. P.S. Shout out to the boys in the back who do a great job of previewing the upcoming fights and always increase my interest / excitement levels.
No problem, mate. Yeah.
Yeah. Matt. Shalom, Ariel. Often you have reacted to MMA and sporting events to provide some brilliant and viral takes. However, last Thursday we were blessed with what seemed like 90 minutes straight of GC Frankie and NYG discussing gout in what was probably the funniest show this has ever been. My question is, when you gave these boys their own show, did you have any idea that within a few weeks it would just be pumping out nonstop content and Rick's long hidden condition? Yes, absolutely. I wanted them to have a show in the previous era as well, and we're just scratching the surface. So yes, I love it.
Is gout itchy? Is that what you're referring to?
I don't know what it is. I'm just, I'm bummed that we're not getting another show tomorrow. But no, it's Thanksgiving. No.
We can re-rack if you want us to.
We're lucky we're getting a show today, man.
Yeah,
Wednesday before Thanksgiving is a national holiday.
Listen,
you
you're
kicked off the show. You were like, something going on in the United States of America. It appears that the Wednesday before is just beginning to be a holiday. It's always been a holiday. I rode in today. It was completely empty.
Yeah, it was great.
There was not a soul on the road.
It feels like everyone's just, okay, so tell me, what's Friday?
Black Friday.
Friday.
What do you mean?
No, but is that a holiday or is that
It's
just...
a holiday
Of course,
for
the whole,
Fridays,
it's a whole, you get the 5 days to spend time with family. Be thankful,
Why waiting in line for a doorbuster?
I'm not in support of this Wednesday holiday stuff.
Yeah, I think
Oh,
that's
yeah, crazy. This is where we draw the line.
Yeah.
This is grinders versus sub sandwiches here.
Kenny, aloha Ariel, 12 days removed from Tyson versus Paul. Has it fully soaked in that over 100 million people globally who hadn't been exposed to your career yet have now seen you work and know who you are? Have you taken a moment to reflect on how far you've come? Has the dynamic changed between you and your kids, classmates, parents, and others who weren't previously aware of your success? Happy Thanksgiving, Ariel and crew. Not really. I mean, and if you had probably asked the likes of Carl Froch, it was a black eye on my career. So... it's something that I am very regretful that I was a part of. It's one of the darkest days in my life. No. I mean, it was incredible. 100 or so million people, 70,000 people in attendance, Netflix getting to be on a platform like that, working with legends like Andre Ward and Roy Jones Jr., who I never worked with before, Mauro Ranallo, Katie and Amanda, and the whole thing was a great time. And like I said, the behind the scenes production was what was most impressive to me. How organized they were, how on the ball they were with everything, how buttoned up everyone was. It was really, really impressive. Would love to do it more. Would love to be a part of more of those events. Obviously, who wouldn't? It was one of the highlights of my career, dare I say. Life, dare I say. Jordan, hey Ariel, last week you talked about road trips with the boys in the back. As a fan, not as a media member, but as a fan, do you have any memorable sports-based road trips you took with family or friends? Probably my most... So there's a few that come to mind. When I went to No Mercy in 2000 in Albany to watch Kurt Angle beat The Rock, October 22nd, 2000, I talked about that being a day that my friends and I always celebrate. My friend Jason Tackman and I, who's probably watching this right now, what's up, Tack? We drove on a Saturday, Montreal to Toronto, which is like a 6.5 or so hour drive, watched Blue Jays versus Cleveland, and then went to eat. I think we went to a wings place. Remember, he's the guy that I said that I would pay good money to watch him eat wings. It's just very entertaining. And then we drove back home, same day. So it was a collective probably 13 hours of driving. Didn't sleep in a hotel, back and forth. He drove the entire way, back and forth, which I kind of felt bad about, but like...
What a monster.
Yeah, he's a beast. That was a memorable one. Another memorable one was when I went with my family recently for my 40th birthday when we went to the Blue Jays playoff game and then also the Bills-Steelers game in Buffalo. That was a very memorable one. There have been others, but those are three that come to mind.
I'm surprised you didn't say Spurs, Ariel, with the lads.
Well, that doesn't feel like a road trip. I mean, we got on a plane for that one. Is that a road trip?
Of course it is, yeah.
Remember when we
It's
went
not-
to AEW? That was fun.
That was fun, but was that a road trip? I mean, I feel like a road trip has to be like outside of where you live.
Well, you don't live in London, mate. I don't.
Yeah, no, but that's a
You
plane.
don't live in Queens either.
That's a plane trip. They were all fun. Marcelo, Ariel, do you play chess? What's your win-loss record between you and the boys in the back? Who is the best player? According to Aura, match each member of the team to a chess piece. I play chess a little bit. My kids like it. My wife is incredible at it. But I would say, like, in the family, I'm probably the worst, and that includes my daughter. Any big chess players here?
You know, I own a set. I dabble here and there, but I'm probably the worst on the group here.
You think so?
Dude, I tried to get into it for the minute. I took a master class on it and everything. Like, I know how to play and, like, I can hold my own, but, man, I would go above, like, 800 level or something on the computer, and they would just run through me.
I feel like Rick's a big chess guy.
I used to play. Now my daughter, my 7-year-old daughter, is learning.
Yeah, it's fun when you play with kids.
Yeah, because you can
Impressive.
beat their ass, right?
'Cause you can cheat. They don't know better. Yeah.
No. The rook goes anywhere it wants. Come on now, sweetie.
Yeah, it moves every direction.
My pawn it's able to go diagonally.
You see the horse? It pops over people.
Rick's just an MTG guy now.
Yeah, he is.
Shout out.
What is that?
Arena. Magic the Gathering.
Oh,
I'm on
jeez.
Arena.
Minnesota-
all
Sometimes
day.
we're sitting talking about the show and you look over at Rick. It's kind of like sometimes when we look over, I'm like, man, geez, he's just grinding over there. He's just grinding.
The memes are just
And then he's
popping
just,
out.
I'm like, oh, he was just
And then 10 minutes later.
making like 45 memes. So now we look over at Rick like, man, that Rick, he's really going above and beyond. And then you look at his phone and he's playing Magic the Gathering.
A very brief story here. We were filming a fight feast, me, Rick, and Frank, and we were on the way back to the office from the fight feast, and me and Frank are walking, and it was like Rick was like a dog on a leash behind us. We are walking through the crowded streets of Manhattan, and he did not look up from his phone one single time. And I was like, Rick, man, you got to get off the phone. What are you doing? And he's like, I'm in the middle of an MTG Arena game. And I was like, dude, get it
Guiding him
together,
through the
man.
Here's the thing. I'm a free-to-play player, meaning I don't pay money to like get extra things on it. I only grind out stuff. I've got to get 15 wins so I can get the coins from that every
You
single
sound like
day.
an addict, right?
And so I'm definitely addicted. So I find like little moments, pockets. Walking down the street in Manhattan, that's a perfect pocket to get 1 or 2 games in.
He was
You know
taking a Ford
Shout out
Escort
my
to
new
the
deck.
hip
My new
just
deck
to get
is
his coins.
crushing right now.
Do you
My
know
new
what would be
deck is so
insulting?
sick.
Is the person that you beat if they knew that you were just walking down the streets.
His
of
neck is
Manhattan, like-
craned, too.
Here's the real tragedy that happens. When I'm on the Long Island Railroad and I'm pulling into Penn and I've got somebody beat and then the internet cuts out and they think they got one on me because I disappear from the game and I was actually going to crush them. That hurts my soul. They need to know how superior I am and how superior my deck is.
Keep coming back, Rick.
But shout out to the Wizards of the Coast. Shout out to MTG and all my players out there.
Oh, yeah.
So sick.
the
Wizzies on the
Watsy.
coast. Those are my guys.
Wizards of the Coast, baby. Shout out.
I'm trying to do this, but with like a Pokemon or a Yu-Gi-Oh.
Here's the
version.
next
The
move.
question was about chess, just to be clear.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
gonna
sorry.
get the Aviron bike
Nerdy
in the house. We're gonna be on that. These days I'm on the elliptical playing MTG. We're gonna get the Aviron bike in the house. I'll be on the bike with the MTG.
I bet you could get it full screen on there. They got all the games.
Maybe I can connect it. We'll see.
A couple of rapid fire super chat questions. Jonah Friedman asks, when is the Costco guys X? How do you say X? How do you say the X?
X.
Okay, Fight Feast collab, or did you just say Costco guys Fight Feast collab happening? Can we get a
They're too
mini
big for
audition
us.
from GC to become CGGC?
CGGC.
Costco guys.
Wow. Yeah, that would be incredible, but they're too big for us, man. They're out of our league.
Yeah, you never know.
It'd be incredible.
All right, well, that sounds like you're in. AZ Ray Videos, will you interview Lorenz Larkin since he's a free agent now? I think Karate Combat would be a great home for him. Sure. I mean, and I do agree with that. Karate Combat would be a very fun fit for him. Gabriel L., did Turkey ever really try to bring you and Dana White together as mentioned on that one interview? I don't know if he tried, but I can tell you it didn't happen. And I could tell you, like, there was no discussion of it happening other than what went on in the in the interview that you guys saw. So I can't speak to whether or not he tried. I never asked him. I never followed up and said, hey, are you actually going to try to do that? But I could just tell you that nothing ever came of it after the fact. It was never brought up afterwards. Aquiles Jr. Frank, you're the best.
Brings a tear to my eye.
That's it. And then
nothing for me from Achilles Jr. That's surprising.
There was while
Okay.
you guys were on the bike. I
Shut
read
up.
it out loud, but it was ignored.
Well, here's something from Robert McAllister. NYRic is the spitting image of Felipe Machado on the Mikey Musumeci versus Felipe Machado promo poster. Happy Thanksgiving, everyone. Love from Scotland. Wow.
I've gotten this guy and the Master Chef
wait a
guy
second.
from last.
How the hell did you guys have that
the
so
Master
quickly?
Chef guy.
This
Jordan,
actually
Jordan,
looks
how
like
did
Rick
you have
with
this?
gout.
Jordan, how did you have this so quickly? Did you
How
read the
did you
question
have
in
this?
advance?
There's my guy.
Okay.
That's it. That's it.
Gavin.
Like, that's-
Gavin. Gareth Crimmins. Shout out to.
I'm pretty
shout
sure
out to
that's
Gareth
you,
Crimmins.
to be honest, Rick. Pretty
How
sure
are you
that's
here
you.
and there.
I
At the same
didn't.
time?
I didn't tell you guys, but I was on MasterChef. I did professional too. So Jordan has some competition here with the
Gareth Crimmins.
Nice.
Gareth.
This sounds like
Crimmins,
a
baby.
fake name.
No, Gareth Crimmins. That's
This
not
sounds
bad.
like a name Rick made up so he could have a double life as a master chef over in UK.
By the way, Aquiles Jr. also added that he hopes you lose the bike challenge.
Well, he already lost,
Wow.
so your wish is my
I think.
command.
Yeah. I don't know.
I said it in the middle of.
I'm not convinced GC didn't pump up the resistance, but we're gonna have to go back to the tape.
Achilles.
Yeah, could-
Achilles Jr.
Could we get a replay? Is
We're
there
gonna have to
an
go back to
instant
the
replay?
tape. We're gonna have to go back.
You'll have your chance next week, man.
We have to go back to.
Tech is actually throwing out a pretty good suggestion. Can we get a ref next time for the bike challenge?
Yeah, for sure.
Who could be the ref?
Was that not you?
Someone laying around the office.
PT, can you
Fly
fly
me.
in next week? Can you and Carl Froch fly in? Can you pick him up on the way?
I need to get Ade as well to do the
Yeah,
face-off. We can all go
exactly.
in together.
Yes,
Yeah.
that would be
On the PJ.
fantastic. Oh, that's a great idea. Ade doing the face-off.
You
Ice.
and Ade will do the face-off between you two, and then halfway through it, Carl will be like, wait a minute, your voice sounds familiar. You were the one in the clip with Ariel talking
Yes.
shit.
All right. Rick just said to check my Slack, but I don't see anything. Is it about the phone number?
Yes,
Yeah, no big deal. We'll deal with that later. Ice.
that wasn't to air before.
Oh, all right. I couldn't tell. Just want to chime in and say Frank the Tank.
Look at that. They're all coming out of the woodwork. I need to stop paying for these. So, it's starting to make me feel guilty.
Derek the Dad. What happens first, Tom John or Connor Chandler? Tell you Tom John. Right?
Yes, Tom John.
I got a kick out of the fact that yesterday, we clip off like little moments, and we do such a great job of that while we're doing the show. Shout out to the big man Spence, and there was a conversation about the bare knuckle event coming up on January 25th, and we mentioned Connor and like the story of it all coming together, and people are like, "Oh, so this is what you're talking about?" Like, how much more? You cannot. I saw someone else, a great media pundit in the MMA world, being like, "No commentary on Uncrowned about the Conor McGregor situation." PT, Ben, and Chuck were live literally for an hour, minutes after the verdict. We've talked about it on the show multiple times. We've had multiple articles, like the critics, the media critics weighing in. Oh, I bet you won't talk about this, or I bet you won't say that, or I bet you won't do that, or I bet you guys won't go there, or I bet you won't editorialize. Like, shoot me in the head. Shoot me in the head. So yes, it was mentioned, but I think we have covered it. And there, you could do 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 hours on this. And we're trying our best, and it continues to evolve. And I could tell you the only real update, I did check in today, and the only real update since yesterday, PT, correct me if I'm wrong, you have your finger on the pulse, and you're right there, is the statement, quote unquote, Instagram stories from his fiancee, Dee Devlin. That's the only real, like from a business standpoint or from an appeal standpoint, nothing new has happened since yesterday, yes?
Well, the only thing I did talk to you earlier about this, they have moved the hearing, which was meant to take place on Thursday, to decide who was paying the lawyers' fees. That was meant to happen Thursday, Thanksgiving for you guys, but they've pushed that back to a later date. It's a big subject of intrigue in Ireland at the moment because Connor's tweets, he said a lot of controversial things pertaining to the court, pertaining to the decision. So the judge can react to that in that moment. We're expecting it to be tomorrow, but it has been pushed back to a date that has yet to be decided. So that's the next big date, and it will be to decide who is paying which fees. As we know, Conor McGregor's been found liable for the sexual assault of Nikita Hand, but James Lawrence hasn't. So we need to have that explained. Does that mean Nikita Hand is on the hook to pay James Lawrence's fees, or is it that the jury saw their side, saw Nikita's side of the story being accurate, in which she claimed that James Lawrence was a patsy? So we need to see this play out. And obviously, Dee Devlin's comments met with enormous scrutiny in Ireland yesterday.
Yes, I will read those on the back end. And we can continue to talk about this. And we'll get to a few more of the questions as well, because, well, the bike challenge took up a lot of time. Although we did get to 18. So that's actually more than I thought we got to. So well done. And I will get to more super chats as well. So stick around. Bryan Battle coming up at 3 p.m. Eastern, but very, very grateful that we have our next guest standing by. We just saw him in action about 10 or so days ago, right here in New York City at Madison Square Garden. Prior to the fight, he was sitting right over there, previewing the fight. It has now come and gone, and he's kind enough to join us. He is Iron Mike Chandler, joining us right now. There he is.
What's up, Ariel?
Hello, Mike. A bit of a dramatic pause there from me to you. Yeah. How are you doing, Mike?
Oh, man, I'm doing good. Replayed the fight 1,000 times in my head, but here we are, and I'm happy to be home with the family. We got the holidays coming up, so we rest and we recover, and we think about what's next in 2025.
Okay, so we're going to get into all of that, but sometimes when you ask someone like how they're doing, it's like in passing, hey, how you doing? Hey, I'm good, great, but you don't really actually want to know or, get into it. This how are you doing is one where I do want to know, and it's First off, from a physical standpoint, because I did see yesterday, Mike, you posted a video. I think you were in your sauna and you were pressing on your shin, and I've never quite seen that before. This is the video right over here. Like, this is wild stuff. Like, that doesn't look real. That looks like clay or something like that. So can you, while explaining what is going on here with your leg, tell us overall, how are you feeling?
No, I appreciate it because, yeah, I mean, obviously I'm a guy who's not afraid to go deep, to really wear my heart on my sleeve and tell you exactly how I'm feeling. So I appreciate the real sentiment. I mean, I'm disappointed. I think I could replay the fight 1,000 times in my head, and I could have made some different decisions. You bring up the leg. Something happened to the leg in that first exchange, the first grappling exchange. Actually, pretty sure I ripped the MCL almost off the bone, tore the meniscus, and I kept remembering in the fight. And it's actually a really funny story because Robbie Lawler, the legend Robbie Lawler, who doesn't make excuses, doesn't take any crap from anybody. I'm like, guys, I can't get my footing. I don't know what's going on with my footing. I kept putting water under my feet. Getting sweat on my feet, trying to get more grip. I just couldn't get my footing underneath me. And it turns out I did something to that left leg in that first round, 2 minutes into the first round, 3 minutes, whatever it was. And I just wasn't able to really put a lot of weight on it. And I hate these, looking back excuses. You know me, I'm not an excuses kind of guy. What happens in the fight game happens. And it's a learn on the fly type of scenario, and I wasn't able to learn enough on the fly to continue to change the game plan and switch things up enough. So the swelling you see on the leg, that's obviously from the knee. I've got MRIs, got the results back. We'll see what the protocol is going to be. But as of right now, I'm walking around on it. I got a pretty high pain tolerance, and it ain't going to stop me from smiling, and it ain't going to stop me from moving forward.
Glad to hear that. I watched your interview with Bussin' with the Boys, and I think, correct me if I'm wrong, you said you have never been in so much pain after a fight. Is that accurate? And if so, why? What's hurting the most?
Yeah, I mean, I think number one, I haven't felt this in 2 years, so maybe that was a little bit of an overstatement. Now here I am 7 days after that. I feel fine. I think there was just things that happened in the fight that should never happen. I mean, I'm a pretty athletic guy. I train athletically big time. I've been doing hand-to-hand combat since I was 14 years old, but I fell like 4 or 5 times in the fight, tripped over my feet. I tripped over one time in the cage, banged up my ankle, and on the same fall, felt like I dislocated my thumb, and my thumb went all the way back. I looked down at my thumb, like just stuff like that, where you're just like, man, little injuries that happened inside the fight. Luckily I didn't take a lot of damage to the head, didn't really take any punches at all compared to the Gaethje fight, compared to the Poirier fight, compared to some of these other fights. So the head was good, but the body, I got ribs going on. Obviously the knee, the shin, the ankle, the hand, and obviously a 25-minute fight, 25-minute war. And, I still had gas in the 5th round, so I was very, very happy about that. And yeah, I mean, it's a fight, man. Bones aren't meant to bang up against each other. A lot of things are happening there. You're falling around. A lot of it had to do with my inability to really shift my weight correctly, and just not happy more than anything. And I really laid out that plan that I thought was really going to come to fruition. I shed tears on your show just a couple days prior to the fight, really feeling like this was going to happen for me, and it didn't. And that's the fight game. And more than anything, I got to lick my wounds. I got to pick myself up, and 2025 is going to be a big year.
Happy to hear that sentiment. Happy to hear the way you're thinking about it all. You also did mention you were peeing blood afterwards. Is that common for you?
That's normal in a 25-minute fight.
Yeah.
I exert myself so much. I pour myself fully into this sport. Honestly, probably a little bit less in this fight than I have in the past, because I didn't force a lot of positions I didn't need to. I didn't force myself out of positions and put myself in bad positions. I wasn't exerting like crazy. We spent a lot of the fight with Charles Oliveira on my back, just holding me and not doing damage and not really threatening too much of submissions. I mean, if you really think about the entirety of the fight, I had my back taken, and I was willing to concede that position to get from round 1 to 2 to 2 to 3, 3 to 4, and then eventually hoping that his gas tank was going to slow down and we were going to put it on him later in the rounds. And the way fate would have it, that obviously did not happen. And hats off to Charles. He showed a lot of gall. He showed a lot of stick-to-itiveness. He showed the heart of a champion, and I look forward to watching him fight Islam or Arman, whoever wins that fight, to fight for the title. And it will be bittersweet. It will be painful to watch, because I believe I should be in that position, but I didn't get the job done.
Have you rewatched it fully?
I have, and I was a lot happier before I watched the fight than I was after the fight. Not necessarily the fight itself, but just the commentary, watching it on TV compared to being in the arena. If you were there that night, a lot of people, they were wowed by it. They loved it. It was an awesome fight. But watching it on TV wasn't as appealing to me.
So what bothered you most, the performance or the commentary? What was leaving you with a bit of a sour taste in your mouth?
Yeah, I mean, a little bit of the commentary when it comes to, some of the stuff that they were saying, the misinterpretation of what the back of the head is by the unified rules of mixed martial arts, the misinterpretation of what cage grabbing is, and a couple of different things. It's all water under the bridge at this point. But more than anything, I'm an honest guy. I try to live pretty full of integrity and full of honesty. And a narrative that has been painted is not very interesting to me. Not very happy. Very happy about it. But it's all part of it.
Can I ask? I mean, that's obviously a much talked about moment. The shots that some deem to the back of the head. What is your interpretation of that rule, and why do you think that you didn't do anything wrong?
Well, I don't think I did anything wrong. I'm not going to say I didn't do anything wrong. Okay, I'm not going to say that people couldn't look at it and splice it and look at it from under a fine-tooth comb and a magnifying glass. But the unified rules of mixed martial arts say that there is a line drawn from the crown of the head, if this were the back of the head, the crown of the head down to the neck, 1 inch variance on either side. So you're talking about a 2-inch area on the back of someone's head that is considered the back of the head. And if you watch 90% of the shots, at least, most of them, almost all of them, or at least where I was aiming, all of them, my fist was catching the ear. So if you're catching the ear, that is not the back of the head. And actually, the back of the head is not really what you and I would call the back of the head is not what the actual definition of the back of the head is. That 2-inch strip down the back of the head. And a referee who was within 2 feet away never said one thing about it. And then you got commentators who were 35 feet away saying it's the back of the head. And then you got other people who are saying, hey, that's the back of the head, just like the Poirier fight. You're punching a guy behind the ear. If it's not within that 1 inch, that 2-inch variance, 1 inch variance to the center line of the back of the head, And it's just things are happening. It's going 1,000 miles an hour. If the referee was yelling at me, hey, Michael, watch the back of the head, or that is the back of the head, he might give you one shot, say it's the back of the head, and then I would have changed courses. I would have changed the trajectory. But none of them were going straight down. They were all coming at a 45-degree angle toward the side and the ear. And ultimately, man, you're dropping a guy. You're down on points. You're dropping a guy. You're trying to hit him, and you're trying to get him out of there. I'm not 100% thinking about, that little red line between the back of the head the whole time, but it's water under the bridge at this point. But more than anything, what you and I would call the back of the head is not what the unified rules of mixed martial arts call the back of the head. So it needs to be defined, and it also needs to be understood by yourself, the media, the commentators, some of which have fought in an octagon for years and won championships, and the general fan base.
In your defense, I will also add that referees and commissioners have told me that when it's part of a scramble, if you will, and I know that was more than just a scramble, it was a little bit more prolonged, that there is some leeway given because of all the movement, and so it's hard to pinpoint the shots, and so the referee does take that into account.
That's a very, very good point. I mean, things are moving. His head is moving. I mean, just like, we just got a new rule change with the grounded opponent, right?
Yeah.
If you're on top of me, right, I used to be able to just put my hand down and you not be able to strike me because my fingers were touching the ground, and people got privy to it, or the referees and the rule book got privy to it and saying, hey, well, you can't put yourself in that position and just stall there and not let your opponent be in a position where they can strike. Similar to the back of the head, you can turn your head away where only the back of the head is showing, and it's kind of a moving, it's a moving target. So more than anything, man, I try not to get too emotional about it, because I think the type of person that I am, and these type of labels. I mean, you want to say I suck at fighting. You want to say I'm not a good technician. You want to say I got low fight IQ. You want to say I should have wrestled and not struck, or struck and not have wrestled. You want to talk about these tactical things. That's completely fine. But when you talk about, hey, this guy's a dirty fighter because he was striking to the back of the head, and it wasn't really the back of the head. And quite frankly, we have a guy who gets paid to be locked in the octagon with you, who has reffed thousands of unified mixed martial arts bouts and never said anything, just like I think it was Herb Dean didn't during the Poirier fight. It's interesting, man.
I'm going to ask you about the fifth round in a moment, but when you watch rounds 1 through 4, what do you wish, and I know there could be a million things here or one overarching thing, what do you wish you would have done differently? What do you wish you could do over?
As I said, I think everything changed in that first round, in that first exchange, the first grappling exchange, when the knee got compromised, and it sucks. I don't even want to talk about it because I'm not an excuses guy.
Yeah.
Charles Oliveira grappled me. He grabbed my leg. He did what he did. I did a 360, and he caused the injury, right? And it happened in a legal manner. This is what we have to deal with, and I need to improvise, adapt, and overcome. But from that moment, obviously, I held on to him and said, hey, I'm going to let go of round 1. I'm not going to get submitted. None of the elbows landed. None of the big strikes landed. So I was in a good position, and I conceded round 1, and I was going to go back to the stool. Round 2, got up, leg felt weird, looked at it. And then after round 2, I kept saying, guys, I can't get my footing. I don't know what's going on here. And that's where I was saying too, talking to Henry, like, hey, let's talk about, combinations we're going to throw, different, very basic, simple tactics that we can put pressure and move forward. A guy like me, I'm a pressure fighter, which means a lot of the weight is on my front leg. And when you can't put weight on the front leg, you can't pressure. I had no problem moving backwards. I could run and shuffle backwards for a mile and have no problem doing so. But it was the prospect of moving forward with my hands up and pressuring a guy like I had trained for the 16 weeks prior, that immediately that game plan just went out the window. And then, I don't know, more than anything, man, I just, I wanted to be able to put it together, and I didn't.
So obviously the fight doesn't go your way, but man, if there could ever be a silver lining in a fight, if you will, or a case to like at least finish strong, it's that fifth round, because you gave us multiple moments, and I don't know if you get the microphone afterwards, and I don't know if people are still saying like, oh yeah, let's have him in this big fight or that big fight. And so could I ask, like, what is the mindset at that point? It sounds like you're pretty well aware at this point, you know, you need something dramatic to happen in this 5th round. And it seems like you just go for broke. You go balls to the wall and just say, to F with it all, I'm just going to go for it. Is that what you're thinking? Is that what your team is saying to you?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, that was what my mindset was going into the 4th, and I think I started the 4th out like that. I even switched to southpaw, trying to see if I could have some success there. You know, it was more just, not only are we dealing with a million things, now you're dealing with a million things added on to, well, the other million things that you've been training you can't do from a tactical standpoint or a biological standpoint. And yeah, the 5th round, it was, you know, Henry looked at me and said, "Hey, you got to go for the finish." And that's what we've done our entire careers. We've nonstop looked for finishes. This was the first time in my career that I'm very happy that I was willing to settle into a 25-minute fight. I proved to the whole world that I can, you know, fight 25 minutes at a high pace, finish stronger than my opponent. I mean, there's a lot of people that would look at the way the 5th round ended, and you had one guy who was hanging on by a thread, one guy who was backpacking me and holding on tight, digging his chin in and just along for the ride, while another man stood to his feet twice on a ripped up MCL and meniscus, carried him to the center of the octagon, and backdropped him in front of a standing ovation, 20,200 people. There was not one person sitting in their seat. There was not one person who was unhappy that they bought the pay-per-view. I think more than anything, I knew that the fight probably wasn't going to go my way at that point. Not probably. I knew the fight wasn't going to go my way at that point. And that's a really great picture. You can see, if you zoomed in on that left knee right there, you can see how my MCL is swollen and displaced out of place there. But I still carried him to the center of the octagon, bounced him off the monster M. And we did it not just once, but twice. And I think part of it was, obviously, we wanted to I had the thought earlier in the fight when he had my back. I was like, should I get up and just slam this dude just to prove a point? And I thought, no, Michael, you're a veteran. Don't do it. You don't need to do it. But in the 5th round, you're like, hey, we're going for broke here. And we're going to give the crowd what they paid for. We're going to give the crowd what they came here for. And I think 95% of people on the roster never think about that. And that's why I'm must-see TV, and that's why I'm a pay-per-view fighter.
Do you agree with the sentiment that 5th round alone kept you in the discussion for all these big fights in 2025? Perhaps if it ends being 5-0 dominant and no real great moment for you in that 5th, then you know it's a bigger climb back to that discussion. Is that a fair thing to say?
I'd say that's fair-ish. You
Okay.
know, I mean, I think, I mean, I'm not happy with my performance. I mean, I would give myself a 2 out of 10. Like, it's, I cannot overstate how horrible a performance this was, or set of circumstances it was after that 1st round, compared to what my vision was for what I am capable of. And I believe I beat Charles Oliveira 9 times out of 10. And obviously I've lost to him twice now, 2 out of 2. I have a 100% loss rate to Charles Oliveira. So I understand why people might tisk at that, roll their eyes at that. But I'm so unhappy with the performance, man. I'm so excited to get healthy, and I'm so excited to give the fans and my supporters and you and everyone else out there the performance that they deserve. And my coaches, man, Henry Hooft and Robbie Lawler and these guys, they pour their lives into me. And it just was not the performance that I wanted, you know, and it really sucks. But here we are. We're going to enjoy the holidays, and we're going to hit 2025 with a bang. And yes, there's a huge fight out there that needs to come to fruition. And I do believe it does in the first half of 2025. And that's perfect timing for me, and it's going to be perfect timing for him.
I'll ask you about that in a moment, but I'm just curious, when people try to compliment you and say, like, look, when it comes to Michael Chandler at this point in his career, it's not about wins and losses. He's Arturo Gatti-like. He's the kind of guy who delivers no matter what. Competitor that you are, champion that you are, do you like that, or does it bother you? Do you feel like it's kind of like, do you not want to reach that point where it's like, oh, I'm one of those guys who doesn't matter if I win or lose. Obviously, you want to be entertaining, but you want to win as well, right? Like, you don't want to be put in that bucket of like, doesn't matter if he wins or loses, or am I wrong?
No, I think you're spot on. I think the competitor in me, you know, and even just the calling on my life, I believe I reach more people, and more people more people are drawn to my story and who I am, where I started from, and where I've come from if I win. With that being said, I've only lost to 3 guys in the UFC, all of which have been ranked top 2 in the world when I have lost to them. So it's not as though I'm going out there and losing to guys I shouldn't be losing to, so to speak, right? You know, you lose to Charles Oliveira, who finished Gaethje, finished Poirier, and my other 2 losses were Poirier and Gaethje. You know, all of which now have been Fight of the Nights, candidate for Fight of the Year, and then Fight of the Year for 2021 with Justin Gaethje. So I look at my body of work, I look at my strength of schedule and my resume, and I think, yeah, you can look at my record and you can say, hey, this guy's lost more times than he has won in the UFC, but I've also thrown myself into the fire and I've never taken an easy fight. I've never said no to a fight. And win, lose, or draw, you will be entertained. You will maybe lose money on me if you bet on me, but you will feel something. You will feel something when I compete. And when it's all said and done, man, it's the work, it's the discipline, it's the passion, and it's the vigor by which you live by and you train by and you prepare by and you fight by that we shall be judged on. And yeah, I got some making up to do to try to get myself back into a winning record inside the UFC. But one thing you will never say is that Michael Chandler did not throw himself fully into the fire and brave the unknown nonstop. And I like Dana calling me the Arturo Gatti. I am must-see TV. I sell pay-per-views. I put butts in seats, and I blow the roof off of every single arena I've ever been in on a Saturday night with a UFC number attached to it. But I want to get in the win column, and the next one we will.
And so, here we are, and it was 2 years, and that was all much talked about and everything you've been through. I'm curious about your take on this now, because now you could speak on it better than anyone. Dominic Cruz probably most famously would always say, cage rust isn't a thing, ring rust isn't a thing. This is all a state of mind, all that. Can you now say, perhaps, is it a thing? Like, did you feel it? Did it feel a little bit off? I know you talk about the injury in the first round and all that stuff, but like, do you think the layoff, and again, please, if you're watching this, if you're clipping this off, I am asking these questions. You are not offering up these things, but this is just part of the post-fight conversation. Do you think that was something that you had to battle in the fight, the fact that you had not fought for almost exactly 2 years?
Well, it's hard because you don't really know how the outcome would have been, either way. I don't think so. I really, really don't think so, man. I did so much work in my journal, in my visualization. I stepped inside of that octagon, literally telling myself, this feels different, but different in a good way, different in the way that it's supposed to feel. And I think it was because I had visualized it more and I was more prepared mentally and spiritually than I ever have been. Stepping back inside the octagon. I mean, I think that was part of the baffling inside my mind was me getting my footing. I'm like, have I not stepped on this canvas for 2 years? And that's why I can't get my footing. But it turns out it was, me shifting my weight differently, my brain telling me to shift my weight differently. So I'm still going to stand by that. Ring rust is not a real thing. I think it's something that can be used as a crutch and say, well, I was out for 2 years, so therefore it felt different. It didn't feel different. Charles Oliveira is exactly who we thought he was. I did not perform the way that I should have, and I have to live with that. I have to sleep, lay my head on the pillow every night until my next fight with that. But with that being said, I definitely ain't going to be out for 2 more years till the next fight. And I will heal up. I will lick my wounds. And the next fight will be the biggest fight of my life.
This may sound like a crazy question, but just curious. I mean, there were some very influential and important people all around the cage, some people that you very much respect. Obviously, the recently elected president, Donald Trump, number 47, and others, Elon Musk. There's you and Donald, and I want to ask you about that conversation. But does any of that put any extra added pressure? Like, you want to perform in front of them. You think very highly of them. Did you feel their presence, and did that make you a little bit more nervous?
No, honestly, and I'm glad it didn't. I mean, I had a little bit of nerves about maybe having nerves, stepping in there, looking across the cage, pointing at Donald Trump, Kid Rock, Elon Musk, and the lot of them. But I didn't feel it. I really didn't. I was more locked in than I ever have been mentally. And I think that had a lot to do with that fight could have gone a lot worse after that first round if I wasn't locked in so mentally and still believing, even on a hindered foundation, a hindered leg, even on a an unknown kind of scenario for me that what I didn't train with, obviously. I think the fight could have went a lot worse. Maybe gotten finished, choked, or 1,000 different ways that Charles Oliveira could have finished me. But I was just so built up mentally that no, I mean, obviously seeing Donald Trump there, Kid Rock, Elon sitting right next to Hunter and Dana. I wanted to be draped with the stars and bars and get my hand raised in front of them, of course, but I didn't, and we lived to fight another day.
What did he say to you in that moment there, that exchange, Donald Trump?
Yeah, I mean, he just shook my hand and said, "Great fight, heck of a performance." And when he whispered in my ears, he just said, "You are one bad man," And I think obviously recency bias would tell you that was the fifth round speaking into my ear, because the first 4 rounds weren't great, if I'm being honest. And and then just seeing everybody there, Tulsi Gabbard, both the Trump sons and RFK and man, Triple H was right there. He and I exchanged some words about the mic, me on the mic. He loves my mic skills, and we've talked a little bit since the fight. So it was pretty surreal. That was the dream team that's going to be running our country for the next 4 years, and I'm looking forward to it.
Are you done with MSG now?
I would like to be done with MSG. I would like to fight in Las Vegas. I would love to fight in Las Vegas. Anywhere but MSG at this point, and nothing against MSG. It's just, shoot, man, I've had 6 fights in the UFC, 3 at Madison Square Garden, 3 fights in the night, a fight of the year, another one that was up for fight of the year. So I've done well at MSG from a entertainment performance standpoint, but not an actual win standpoint. And the fight week was awesome, man. Everything was great. Everything was awesome up until me not getting my hand raised. But I'd like to fight in Vegas next. We'll see if we can make that happen.
Okay, and so on the microphone, you do talk once again about Conor McGregor. I think you just alluded to the fight that we have been talking about for, oh gosh, is it 2 years? Are we approaching 3? I can't even keep track anymore, but it's been quite the saga. Obviously, we found out on Friday, some massive news pertaining to Conor, and I'm not going to put you on the spot here and ask your reaction to that. I don't think that's fair to you, but do you think that him being found civilly liable in this case will preclude you from fighting him next year in 2025? There are some people who think this will keep him out even longer. What is your gut saying right now?
I don't know the legal ramifications. I don't know what all that stuff looks like. I do know after something like this, if I was in that position, obviously the last thing I would want to do is not be training and not be moving forward toward a common goal. So I'm sure he wants to get back in training. I think that's what his statement said. He's going to be, with his family. He's going to get back in the gym. It's a tough position. It's a horrible position all around, obviously for him and for everyone involved. And it's a tough spot. So I don't really have anything else to say about it, but I do think the best thing that he can do, most likely, obviously, is to get back moving toward a common goal. A man or a woman needs a common goal to continue to work toward in order to continue to build ourselves up. And why not fight me? Why not be training to fight me? Middle of next year, International Fight Week. Before that, as soon as possible. I'm ready to get back into training camp right after January 1. And we can make that fight happen ASAP.
If he is out for an extended period of time, who would be your top choice?
Oh, man. Am I really in a position to have a top choice?
Sure. Why not?
I gotta go
You're
out
Michael
there.
freaking Chandler.
Yeah, I got to go out there and win, man. I got to go out there and win. I can't have a performance like I just did. I trained this morning, hobbled around a little bit. I got to get myself back into shape and lick these wounds. Obviously, there's a lot of people out there talking, man. Obviously the Max Holloway BMF belt. He's now a lightweight George Masvidal has said my name numerous times. Anybody inside the top 5, top 10 at lightweight. There's a lot of different huge matchups. There's a lot of different huge fights. Obviously, the fight that makes the most sense is Chandler versus McGregor to finish the Ultimate Fighter 31. And we will kind of see what the timeline is there, and we'll see what the UFC is thinking. I know they don't want to keep me out long at all. It's bad business for them to not have me in a training camp, training for a fight, to go out there and put the most amount of entertainment, the most amount of violence, the most amount of action of any fighter on the UFC roster. So it's good business for them to have me active and fighting inside of their octagon. So we're having some conversations now, and we'll kind of see how the timeline falls.
By the way, just curious, like given the beast that you are in the gym and whatnot, how long do you actually take off from working out after a fight like that with your leg in the state that it's in? Like we see the videos leading up to the fight, and you were absolutely shredded in the photos that you posted beforehand. Do you take like a full week off from the gym? Do you do absolutely nothing, or is that impossible for you?
What do you think?
No, I think you don't. I think you're back like on the Monday.
Yeah, no, I even before I got the MRI results back with the the tears and the confirmation of all that, I was still on my bike 48 hours after, or I guess 72 hours after the fight, the day after I got home, because the bike is very, not load bearing, and I'm sucking in the Hypermax oxygen, doing my 10X superhuman protocol. I got the red light bed. I've got the or actually my pool and the cold plunge with the sauna. So I'm doing contrast therapy. I've seen my bodywork guy 2 or 3 times since I've gotten home. Me and Hap did an upper body workout today. I tested out the leg a little bit, so we didn't want to go too hard there. So we went upper body. Hap's doing his pull-ups and his push-ups, and he's going to be a strong young man, and he's going to train. And movement is medicine, man. The old school idea of rest and ice and compression and elevate and recover and just sit there and do nothing is not my school of thought. So I just want to keep the legs moving, keep the body moving, pump out the inflammation. And, the inflammation that you saw in that video that you showed was, a couple days ago, and the inflammation has gone down tenfold since then because I never stop moving. I keep the body moving, stay on my supplements, stay on my good diet as much as I can. I've had a couple days of gluttony and needed to feel like a normal human being for a second. And now I'm back to the regimen. And tomorrow's Thanksgiving, so we'll go hard with Taylor Lewan and Will Compton with Bustin' with the Boys. We're doing the most buttered turkey competition to see who can gain the most weight. So I got a competition tomorrow.
Okay, and that leads me to my final question. Perfect segue, by the way. Well done. You're a pro. We've been debating, and I'm going to share mine after this interview. Top 5 pound for pound Thanksgiving foods. I'm putting on the spot here. I didn't ask you this in advance. Can you give us your top 5 going from 5 to 1, 1 being the number 1? It could be anything that is related to Thanksgiving. You're Mr. America, All-American, Thanksgiving. Doesn't get more American than that. Do you have a top 5 pound for pound for us?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
It's going to be tough to... Okay. So I'm going to go with stuffing at number 5.
Interesting. Okay.
Guys, stuffing at number 5. I'm not a huge carbs guy. I like all I don't like the breads as much, but stuffing is number 5. I'm going to go with your mashed potatoes. I like mashed sweet potatoes.
Yep. You're going regular mash or sweet? Or does it like regular?
Sweet.
Okay, sweet. All right, cool.
Sweet with the little marshmallows on top.
Yeah.
I need to come up with my number 3. I probably should have put sweet potato there because I do like sweet potato.
You could swap.
Yeah, I'll swap. So I'm gonna go stuffing at number 5.
Okay.
What the heck else is there, man? I'm gonna go rolls.
Okay.
I have some good rolls.
Yeah.
At number 4. Because I do got to have a little bit of carbs when I'm gonna splurge on Thanksgiving. Sweet potatoes, turkey at number 2.
Okay.
And dark meat turkey. By the way, I like dark meat, not the white meat. I like dark meat. And then number 1 is pumpkin pie.
Ah, yes.
Pumpkin pie, number 1. It's the greatest dessert on the planet.
I love it. Well, happy Thanksgiving to you and the family. Enjoy your time off. Enjoy, resting up. Get well soon. Heal up soon. Tremendous 5th round. A lot of heart, a lot of grit, a lot of determination. As always, great entertainment. You always lay it out on the line. So thank you very much for that, and appreciate you coming on. As always, Mike. Thank you so much.
Yes, sir. Thank you, man. Happy Thanksgiving. See y'all later.
All right, there he is, the great Michael Chandler joining us and giving us his top 5 pound for pound Thanksgiving foods. This is Thanksgiving week, as we've said, a joyous time, a holiday that is what is it, Frank? Denominational?
Non-denominational.
Yeah. The boys in the back last week on Thursday, they broke down their top 5 pound for pound Thanksgiving foods. And I was watching that and I was like, you know what? I want to weigh in. First, to recap.
Oh, you weighed in during the chat. Don't
No.
Look at those lists.
Look at those lists. First of all,
you can just say non-denom moving forward.
Oh, is that the thing?
Yeah, non-denom.
That sounds like the song. Denominum, dun dun na na na. Denominum, dun dun. Wait.
Non-denom.
I didn't even acknowledge the list.
I mean, you had your chance.
Jeez. Okay, here we go. GC going from 5 to 1. Mashed potatoes with gravy, and to be clear, no sweet potato action here, right?
No. Give me the white potatoes and give me it's got to be a quality gravy.
Pie. Now, what is pie? I mean, that could be a million different
pie
things.
you want to bring. Any pie you want to bring. Pumpkin pie I'll eat. Sweet potato pie I'll eat.
Blueberry.
Apple pie. Blueberry pie.
Okay,
Let's put some ice cream on that bad boy,
pie?
too.
What
meat
about
pie? I'll eat a meat pie. Come on.
rhubarb?
Rhubarb, I'm in.
Hate
Strawberry
rhubarb.
The one
You
pie.
don't just do rhubarb by itself.
One pie that I do not enjoy, lemon meringue.
What?
Absolutely despise meringue.
Okay, so then it's
Is it
not
the
any
meringue
pie.
you don't like or the lemon?
If you show up to Thanksgiving with a lemon meringue pie, you're getting kicked out of the house.
Wow.
You're getting kicked out of the house. I'd be like, what the fuck is this? Lemon meringue pie on
How do you feel about
Thanksgiving?
key
Are you
lime?
shitting me? Key lime is delicious.
Key lime
Again,
is-
though, you bring key lime pie to my house on Thanksgiving, I'm going to be like, what are we doing? You
What if
think this
people
is
have
tropical
scurvy and
paradise?
this is their way to, combat it?
Shut up, Frank. God damn.
By the way, key lime frozen.
I love, love a good key lime frozen.
By the way, what would Francis Ngannou say if you showed up to his house with a lemon meringue pie?
What the fuck is that?
I think he would
Also,
actually enjoy
can we
a
just
lemon
imagine
meringue.
someone being like, hey, man, thanks for inviting me over for Thanksgiving. Tough time for me. I have scurvy, but don't worry. I brought key lime pie.
No, they'd be like,
to
"Oh,
combat
I don't even know what scurvy is, by the way.
Scurv.
It's like gout. It's like an
Gosh.
ancient disease.
Ancient is
Okay, wait. I didn't even finish the top 5. We're
Yeah.
okay.
Continue, sorry.
Rolls.
Shout out to Mike. Crescent rolls, King's Hawaiian rolls.
Wait, who's Mike?
Mike
Oh,
Chandler,
Mike Chandler.
bro.
Right.
Hi, come on.
Okay.
MC.
Mac and cheese 2, tremendous, and then stuffing / dressing. Explain this.
Some people in the South call stuffing.
Okay,
dressing.
same thing.
Same exact thing, but I just wanted to, shout out to my people down south.
Yeah. All right. NYRic's list is as follows: cornbread, pumpkin pie. Now, do you distinguish cornbread from rolls?
Yeah, distinct.
Okay.
Cornbread. I want the cornbread.
All right, fair enough. Okay, so cornbread, and then what else do we have over here? Pumpkin pie, sweet potato mash. What's the difference between sweet potato? Okay, so it's just mashed potatoes with sweet potato. Got it. Mac and cheese, and then stuffing. Okay.
I like the working through what is
It's working.
potato mash
We're
thing.
workshopping. We're workshopping. Okay.
I mean, definitive list, just unassailable.
No, it's a great list. It's a solid list. Now, last but not least, Mysterious Frank, relish dish. Now,
Insane number 5.
is this, by the way, is this like relish that you put on a hot dog?
No. It's like mini pickles.
God, that is bizarre. Is that a Thanksgiving dish?
No.
So, oh my god, it's a holiday dish, almost like an appetizer, like an hors d'oeuvre, maybe what you call it in the Helwani household. But what it is things like carrots, some celery with like palmetto cheese.
But this is not. I don't want to say exclusive, but it is not a traditional Thanksgiving dish.
I don't know. I mean, this was my pound for pound Thanksgiving dishes, so I went with what I grew up with, and I really enjoy a relish dish. This is kind of like while you're waiting for game time, you gotta have the relish dish.
Like Google
What
relish
is game
dish.
time? What is this game time? you're
Game
talking
time when like the dinner actually starts.
Oh, I thought you meant
respect
like
that.
the football, the kickoff.
No, yeah,
It's
I
going
actually
on game
called
time.
Thanksgiving dinner kickoff.
What time do you eat, by the way?
Okay. This is a great question.
Well, if you have a relish dish, you can start as early as you want.
Yeah, I'm like a breakfast on Thanksgiving morning is pretty sacred. We got into that deeply. Making the breakfast casserole tomorrow. Shout out. I'm usually eating at like 2 to 3. It's not actual dinner time, but it's not lunchtime. The sun is still out,
Yeah.
but like it's not lunchtime.
Do you work out on Thanksgiving?
I'm a big turkey trouter. Yeah, signed up for one tomorrow.
Oh, you're doing a 5K?
Yeah. Shout out.
Wow. Where?
Took the day off, right?
In the hometown?
Hometown.
Wow. Is it 5K?
5K. Yeah.
See, I like that because then I feel like you earn it.
Oh yeah, you earn it. Get
What time?
home. Breakfast getting made.
What time?
7:30.
The race starts at 7:30.
Yeah, so I'll be done by 8. Home by 8:30.
Beast.
Showered by 8:15. Nope. Showered by 8:45.
Right.
Parade on by 8:50. Feet up by 8:55. Breakfast in hand by 9.
When do you brush your teeth?
Before the race, I would imagine.
Yeah.
Okay, back to Rick's. Oh no, sorry, Frank's list. Stovetop stuffing. Is stovetop a
specific
shitty brand? Yeah.
Okay, shitty brand. Yeah.
Specific brand.
It's like.
It's funny you say that because they've been calling asking if they can get on the show, and you're like,
Oh yeah,
shitty brand,
no.
shitty
I love
brand,
them. I
that.
love them. Then you got the dinner rolls, which I guess is the same thing as rolls.
Absolutely.
Okay.
That's like the classic, like fluffy.
These are
white
all
bread
like
rolls.
these are all like packaged. Like there's no je ne sais quoi to any of this. Deviled
A
eggs.
relish dish does not come in a prepackaged thing.
Deviled
When you
eggs.
say there's nothing to this, you're talking about Frank's, or are you talking about all?
No,
of ours?
Frank's.
Oh,
Frank's
just shitting on-
specifically.
okay.
Frank.
Well, you do have to cook the stovetop stuffing, and I am going to defend Frank to the death here on the deviled eggs. Deviled eggs are fantastic.
Bacon on top.
No.
Olive on top
You don't
is
even
actually
eat
how I
pork.
grew
Why
up
would
with
you
them.
No, I know, but I have sometimes seen deviled eggs with bacon
paprika,
on top.
though.
Yeah,
Okay,
a
have
little bit of
A little
paprika.
color.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Not a lot of flavor in paprika. I
You don't like
gotta say.
deviled eggs?
They're okay. And by the way, it's pronounced paprika.
Let's talk after the show.
Right, so you sprinkle a little paprika on
There's
top.
a line, Ariel, and you just crossed it.
Actually, one question about the deviled eggs before we move on. When you do eat them, I know you don't love them. When you do eat them,
Yeah.
all in one bite, or are you a 2-biter?
Nah, one bite.
Yeah, straight down the gullet.
Yep, 100%. And then last but not least for Frank, mashed potatoes with gravy. Okay, now, well done, not bad. I'm not going to crap on your list. I'm not one of those guys, but I did want to contribute. I wanted to, I wanted to be,
I saw you in the chat last Thursday.
I wanted to be a part of the fun. And so without further ado, my top 5 pound for, by the way, did you guys like Mike's list? Mike had a
Yeah,
pretty
it was a
good-
solid list, man. I'd go,
Yeah, that
I'd
list
go to
with
dinner at his
turkey on
house.
it? Hell no.
It was
I knew he was going to have turkey.
Hell no.
That was the biggest
my favorite
Dark meat
part.
was
predictor.
I am the number one turkey defender on the planet. I eat turkey at least one meal a day. It's not top 5.
We
I'm
don't
sorry.
care.
It's just not.
My favorite part was him saying like, I don't like the carbs, and then the top 3 were all carbs.
Everything was
Even the
carbs.
number 5 was carbs.
Yeah. All right. There it is. Wow. Thank you.
If
On
you
Air
have
Jordan.
turkey on your list, you have erred. You have made a mistake somewhere.
You
So-
ever had white
Here comes
gravy?
Ariel with turkey on his list. In fact, Ariel's going to have dry ass white meat
Yeah.
turkey as number
Oh,
1
just
on
wait.
the list. I'm predicting it
4 out of his 5 were some form of carb. Okay, my list. Here we go. Number 5, Ariel Helwani, Canadian-born Ariel Helwani's top 5 pound for pound Thanksgiving dishes. Number 5 is mac and cheese.
Solid.
Yeah, there it is.
Nice.
I don't
Velveeta?
I don't view it as a traditional Thanksgiving dish, but my kids tend to eat more of that than anything else. And who could turn it down? And I like to splurge a little bit on mac and cheese and have fun with, I try to keep somewhat of a carb-free-ish diet. I don't do a great job of that. Mac and cheese, Thanksgiving, you can go ham.
From a box, or do you make this from scratch?
No, scratch. Who the
Uber
hell's
Eats bringing that mac and cheese right to the door.
No, not Uber Eats. but
Uber
like,
Eats is
what is
bringing
scratch?
it
The
market.
Straight
cheese
to
is
the
from
door.
scratch.
The cheese sauce is from scratch. The noodles are from scratch.
Yeah, get out of here with the noodles.
Not the noodles from scratch.
Yeah,
but
We're not making
Yes,
hand-pulled
I'm
noodles.
not going
but
all the way to freaking Roma to do this. Okay, number 4. You're going to have to help me out with putting the stuff because I do not remember. So reveal it for me. Here we go. Number 4. I gave these before. What do we got?
You can tell he's really passionate about this.
I don't
but
remember what I put as number 4. You think I memorized this?
Struggle with this every week.
Okay, so this is a very important one. Turkey has to be with cranberry sauce.
Yeah,
If it's
respect.
just dry ass turkey, contrary to your belief, Rick, not that interested. There it has to be coupled with something, and the turkey cranberry combo. First of all, like a bit of a cop out to have a Thanksgiving list without any mention of turkey.
I disagree.
It's
Absolutely
all about turkey.
incorrect.
Disagree.
It's all about turkey. Turkey with cranberry sauce gives it a little
I
bit
eat
of
more turkey
moist.
than any human who exists, and it is not top 5.
If you go to like a turkey nest, there's a picture of New York.
I'm
Rick
in the
there.
Turkeys
I
are an
am a
invasive
turkey.
species.
I am
Avoid
actually
this
a
man
turkey.
at all costs.
It
Public
must be
enemy
the gout.
number
It must
1
be
to
a
the
gout
nation
thing.
of turkey.
Number 3.
Turkey king.
Here we
You eat
go.
turkey right now?
My number
I did for
3
lunch.
ranked overall pound for pound. Thanks.
Also, by the way, that's
Yes.
cheating. Cranberry sauce and turkey are 2 different things that are.
I
No.
love it. I love it.
I mean,
Play
same.
the game.
So
Play the
with
game.
mac
Don't
combined,
hate the
would you get a
player.
pass
Hate the
out?
game.
I get
love
to
that.
I get
We
to
don't
make
get
the
to do
rules.
mashed
that.
potatoes
Yeah.
with corn at the same time.
Absolutely.
It's one or the other.
No. It's a cranberry sauce. I respect
Yeah,
it.
yeah. Keep going.
As you
Wait,
please.
is it cranberry sauce out of the can? Like you just
Nah. I hate that. That's gross.
and
Oh,
it's
look at
jiggle there, and you
Nah.
can see all the can lines.
That's that
What is my
Frank.
number three?
That's that
For the
Frank
love of
Ocean
God.
spray.
For the love of God, what is my number 3? Are we just gonna sit here and
He's
wait?
wanting you to.
Why
By the way,
can't I
do
see
we
it?
ever circle back to my Slack? Are we just never going to talk about it?
How do
Never
you
gonna
not
address
remember it?
It's just
You made it like 2 hours
Don't
ago.
worry, bro. That was the message there.
This is awful. My daughter just called me FaceTime. She's not happy about any of this. Okay, now I'm gonna have to go. I don't know why you're not giving me the 3. Are you making
There
me
it
go?
is.
There it is. Wow. Thank. Is there something wrong with the buttons over there?
Yeah.
Okay. Pecan pie. Mainly so I could just say they got pecan pie up in this.
I'm alpha.
Yeah. Don't we have that one or no?
No, we don't.
No, I actually have heartbreaking news. I went back and watched that before I went to Cats.
Cats is.
Cats is.
Yes. It's Cats, Katz apostrophe S. Cats is.
Cats.
You kept calling it Cats on the
That's
show.
that's the shitty part is no one knows.
You're bearing the
no
lead.
one,
What
no one actually knows.
Everyone knows.
That's the difficult part.
What's the heartbreaking news? No pecan pie there anymore?
A, no pecan pie there. B, I don't know if there ever was pecan pie there. I think he saw something else, the baklava or whatever we had, and he thought it was pecan pie.
Oh, no.
And then 3, he actually doesn't say pecan. He says like closer to pecan.
No, okay, well, that's just semantics. This is perhaps a greater myth buster than the Mike Perry Halo walkout song.
Yeah.
I'm going to stick with he saw it, he reacted to it, and that's that. Number 2.
Because when I asked the guy, he was just like, we've never had.
Really?
Never had it here.
Number 2 is stuffing. Everyone loves stuffing. Yeah, there it is.
Do you like the stuffing in the turkey and then it comes out, or just on the side?
I kind of like it on the side.
Stovetop, right?
Yeah, give it its own pan.
Yeah,
give it its own
give it
baking
its own
dish.
pan,
We don't need
yeah.
it
Give it
shoved
to me
up in
in
a
a
turkey,
box
man.
and let me hydrate it and eat it. It's great.
By the way, does stuffing only make an appearance on Thanksgiving? Or is
Only.
it,
Nah, it's on Christmas as well.
Oh, yeah, that's true. That's true.
Or a Freaky Friday. You know, when you start having Thanksgiving dinner on a random Friday,
No,
because
that's weird.
why not?
is it really, like, can you not, I like, sometimes you go to a restaurant and they say they have like a Thanksgiving,
Sandwich?
yeah.
Yeah, I'll do it then,
Yeah,
but very
Caprioli's
rarely.
does that, I think, where it's like the cranberry sauce and everything in the sandwich.
Like, how bad does stuffing sound on like June 22nd?
Yeah, I guess.
If you're just like, you want a big heaping pile of stuffing? I'd be like, get that shit away from me, man. I'm out.
Without further ado, and amazingly, we've now shown 5, 10, 15, 20 items between the 3 of you, Michael, Chandler, and then I guess 24 me, and this one yet to appear on any list.
Actually, don't know where you're going here.
My number 1, candied yams.
Okay.
Nice.
You know what I'm talking about?
With
You
the
talk about
marshmallows,
you
right?
talk about the sweet potato. No, you need the yams with the marshmallow and a little bit of the brown sugar. My good friend John Beer makes it better than anyone. We had a tradition where he'd come to our house for 11, 12 years and cook it all for us. And the candied yams were to die for. You can have that as an appetizer. You can have it in the middle of the meal. And you could really have it as a dessert, if we're being honest. Candied yams, pound for pound, number 1 all time. When I think Thanksgiving, I think candied yams.
Gotta respect it.
I like a candied yam. It's a good call. I prefer sweet mash, but it's very good. Your list is better than I expected, other than the cheating of combining the cranberry sauce and turkey.
I actually respect that.
Wow. Thank you.
Solid
Very
list.
EP
Solid
of
list.
you.
I was actually, thank you. I appreciate that, Frank. I was surprised candied yams didn't make it.
I'm a sweet mash over candied yams, but I'll take either.
I'm not going to
All
lie. I
day.
didn't really have candied yams at my Thanksgiving growing up for the omission. I'd also love to if we could get like some sort of cooking class on YouTube of John Beer making his
Oh my
candied
God.
yams. That would be
And
all time.
you
I have
mentioned
John would do
videos.
it.
He came over and made the whole dinner for you guys.
Oh yeah, he would do everything, start to finish. It was incredible.
Wait, what are we
Set
doing
all
these
time.
days? I'm familiar with the John Beer tradition. What are we doing these days?
We have a
Boston
bit.
Market, right?
Yeah, right.
Uber Eats arrives and
Nah,
Thanksgiving
you know
time,
what?
baby.
I don't appreciate that. I don't appreciate that. I think that.
So what
that's
is
a
it?
low blow.
DoorDash?
My
Tell me
brother, his
which one.
wife. I told you, brother, wife, newborn.
Right. They come. How does
And
the
then how does
food
the
get
food
there?
get?
You know, that's our little secret.
Yeah,
okay?
yeah. So then, yeah.
I'm not gonna throw anyone under the bus.
Donatello's in downtown New Jersey.
Hey guys.
Boston Market, right?
After a big, this is from Derek the dad. After a big Thanksgiving feast, will Frank?
Please finish this. I've spent my last 2 Thanksgivings with Frank. I can answer this.
Will Frank finally fart in front of his wife?
Oh man. Was this a real question?
Yes. Have you never farted in front of your
Oh,
wife?
Do you not watch Boys in the Bed?
Yeah, thanks for watching. I appreciate it.
Yeah, I love how you chime in just at the wow. I think we broke Ariel with it.
Yeah, he's never farted in front of his wife.
I haven't seen this question. Can you ask it again?
Why do you want me to ask it again?
Okay.
By the way,
let's actually go.
I don't know if this is healthy. I think
let's
you
go behind
should
the
fart in
scenes.
front
My
of your
doctor
wife.
has shamed me about it. They're like, bro.
Whenever I'm at a restaurant with Frank,
how did this come up with your doctor? What was the conversation?
I was having abdominal pain.
Oh my God!
This is insane.
Oh
Frank,
my
just
God,
let it be
Frank.
known for a
Did you guys
decade.
not listen to the episode that I was on with you?
How-
You have to do that.
How did I become the gout guy? This guy's having an abdominal pain because he can't fart in front of his wife, and I'm somehow. I mean, this is out of control.
Frank the fart ripper, except he doesn't rip any farts.
Out of control.
Every time I'm at a restaurant with Frank, after we're done eating, he beelines to the bathroom, and now I know why. I thought he just had digestive issues. It's just so he can go to the bathroom.
As
and
if
fart.
farting is not a digestive issue.
No, it's a natural thing.
See,
Frank.
I haven't gotten the update on.
Oh, it's hurting. My
What happened
stomach.
last year when we waited so long? Me and Frank went to a Thanksgiving dinner at a restaurant last year, and he was like, I gotta have cognac with my dessert. I must have a glass of cognac, and it took like 45 minutes.
They were like,
for that shit to show up. I was like, "Where the fuck is the cognac, Frank? We gotta get out of here, man. We've been here for 3 hours."
Do you remember the Devils game the day after?
Oh my God, yeah. Then we went to the Devils the next day, and I
waited
bided-
45 minutes.
Yeah, I bided too much in the Thanksgiving cocktails. Was not feeling so good. Missed
Oh.
the entire Devils game.
Wow, the doctor. This is crazy.
Anyway, is that a yes or a no, Frank?
I have not done it. I mean, I
I'll
can't
find out.
account
I'll be
for-
with him again this year.
I can't account for when I'm asleep or whatever. I get a freebie there.
Have you ever woken up
Frank
your wife
wakes up
by farting?
angry because it happened overnight.
Alessio, I got to get it together because Brian Battle's coming on in 10 minutes, and I'm like
Is he?
crying.
I mean, we don't know. Is he?
By the way, Alessio says Frank's list is just a list of his favorite foods.
I mean, this has become the theme on Boys in the Back. We do, Christmas list, Halloween list, Thanksgiving list, and Frank just gives the, I'll do it anytime. That's the gimmick. Like
I was
Frank
waiting him to kick off the Thanksgiving list with, these foods are great at Thanksgiving, but I'll eat them year round.
I read between the lines.
Number 5, French's mustard.
Hot dogs.
By the way, can we acknowledge the fact that on, I think, Saturday, I texted the group and said, hey, guys, lots to be thankful for, lots to be grateful for. Let's go out for Friendsgiving, excuse me.
Friendsgiving. I love it. Let's do it.
By the way,
This is my favorite day. Got in your head, didn't I? Yeah, it sucks, huh?
Franksgiving is a tremendous idea.
Should we just only call it Franksgiving?
No, because you guys always say I don't like to do stuff, and I feel like I've actually tried to be proactive in the new era, and I got met with I got met with crickets.
Me and you are still
What
going.
crickets?
Me and you are
Crickets.
still going.
No one chimed
I
in.
said
No
yes.
one waited.
No,
Why,
time
why
out,
does he
time
make
out.
up these lies
Time
when we
out.
have we
What?
have the text?
No one
right
chimed.
here?
Everyone, and then
I said yes.
you did say yes.
I also
I said
said
yes.
I'm down.
It was a very sort of
also said
like,
yes.
I hope he forgets about this, and we can all leave. And,
No, see,
and-
here's
and
the
beat
real
rush.
sign. When you said oh no pressure, guys, like I'm just feeling like this is, maybe a little too much right now.
Oh, that was last night. Well, we
Yeah.
were walking wounded last night.
First of all, one, that was you just clearly not wanting to go anymore.
I would
Two,
be
as
glad
soon
to
as
go.
you dropped that, everybody jumped on it except for me because I'm willing to go. I mean,
That's
we're,
true. Everyone
we're
was like,
still
"Oh,
on,"
great.
But everybody was like, great,
Yeah, yeah.
I don't want to go. Nobody can commit, except for me. That's okay though.
I literally.
I'll always be there for you guys.
I actually think Frank was the one that started that yesterday. He's like, yeah, so about Friendsgiving.
He
You remember
did.
it was like, while we're on disappointing
Yeah.
subjects.
He did, but he is also the one who I think is the sickest. So he gets an excuse.
I'm not sick, dude. What are you talking about?
El Torito 94
Appreciate that
says, Sup
mentality.
crew, let's hear your guys' best turkey gobble for Thanksgiving. Keep up the great content. No one wants to hear
I need
that.
This is
somebody
all
to
Frank.
do it first, and
This
then I
is all
can
Frank.
replicate it, but I can't do it just like offer it.
Oh, God. All right. Just want to chime in and say Frank the Tank. That was ice. I read that one. I think there's only one other one. Oh, this is from Keto Kai. Yo, when we getting big hitters back? GC, we got to know one of my favorite segments.
Yeah, I need to bring it back. I still have all the graphics and everything for it, and I still get sent a bunch of slips. I just haven't been able to do anything with them. Just got to figure where I put it.
Okay.
What's in the bag?
Yeah, I mean, feels like a natural spot for it, no?
All right. Point taken, man.
Do you think we ever get Canelo versus Benavidez? Asks Hitman 600. In my opinion, this is by far a worse duck job than John and Tom. I'd love to weigh in, but I'm not a boxing pundit. I mean, I just,
So now you're not a wrestling guy.
I'm not a wrestling guy.
boxing guy.
I'm not a wrestling guy. When I started in 2007, I wasn't an MMA guy either. I mean,
Right.
By the way, was Jim Lampley a boxing guy when they took him from ABC Wide World of Sports and put him on boxing?
We'll never know. There's no way to find out.
Was Howard Cosell a boxing guy when he went from being a lawyer to a media guy? Was Mauro Ranallo a boxing guy when he went from pro wrestling, kickboxing, MMA to boxing? I mean, who is a boxing guy? Other than the fighters, of course, they're boxing guys. Like you have to be starting from some spot, right? So I always find that very funny when like, you're not a boxing guy, stick to boxing. Meanwhile, you go on Carl's page and he's doing a post UFC 308 reaction. Are you an MMA guy, Carl? Is that allowed? Why the double standard? Why the double standard?
We just need the collab.
I always love when people do the charity thing. Are you telling me right now, Carl? Are you telling me right now you will not take a dime if you fight Jake Paul? Is that what he's saying? You listen to it, GC. Is he saying he would not take a dime to fight Jake Paul? He's going to do it for the good of the game. Is that what he is saying? Is that what he's implying?
That's what he said. Correct. Everything would go to charity.
Do you believe him?
I don't know.
No, I don't believe him.
The Cobra?
I don't believe the Cobra. He's going to take no money for this. No sponsorship. He's not going to pocket a dollar.
Is he really even going to fight him?
No, I don't know. I'm just saying, if it does come to fruition, I don't believe for a second that he would do it for only charity. Maybe a part of it goes to charity, maybe a portion, maybe he donates something to charity. He is not doing this out of the kindness of his heart. I don't buy it. Call me crazy, call me a hater, call me a naysayer. And, it's the same thing that I was talking about back in the day with some other people. It's the loudest dissenters of this Jake Paul thing who profit off of it the most. You look at their YouTube channels and every video is about Jake Paul. Oh, this is disgraceful, because they like to pander to the audience that typically feels this way but consumes it the most. It's like the old Howard Stern thing where like the quote unquote haters of Howard Stern, they would listen to his show double the amount of time as his quote unquote fans. And so they profit off of it in that regard. They love it. They want him to stick around. And they also blindly ignore everything that he is doing for boxing. Not a popular stance to take. I don't mind. I don't care. But if you tell the story of Jake Paul and MVP and ignore what they have done for Amanda Serrano, what they have done for Shadasia Green, what they have done for other fighters who have worked under their umbrella, H2O Silva, I know coming off a loss, Lucas Body beats him. Now he has been signed to the promotion, and others. I think you're being disingenuous, my opinion. By the way, yesterday on the program, we had Ryan Garcia, speaking of boxing, and he's in a bit of a super fight, if you will, in Japan. He had the press conference right after against Ryuya Anpo. I'm probably butchering that. I apologize. It got a little bit heated. Couple of highlights here for you. First off, here's Anpo talking about Ryan Garcia in a very entertaining way. It was a great press conference. Take a look.
We all know Ryan Garcia's issues. Missing weight, alcohol and incomplete, lack of professionalism, no sportsmanship, no respect. Yet he dares to call himself king. On fight day, I'll show him the true code of Bushido. We fight for honor and legacy, it not ego. I bring the real Japanese samurai spirit and show him exactly where he belongs. Fuck you. Fuck you.
This is good stuff. First of all, it's Rukia. Brian Campbell wearing his best suit there, his Sunday's best, if you will, doing a great job as always. Rukia Anpo. He is gigantic. Look how big this guy is. And he's getting fired up. I think Ryan should take him seriously. It doesn't look like he is doing so. In fact, he's dismissing him and he's saying that he just found out about the guy. He has no idea who he is. He just knows him as the guy who tried to knock out Manny Pacquiao. This was Ryan's response, which I found entertaining.
I went to Japan about 3 months ago, sometime like that, to watch this man. Well, actually, I came to watch Manny Pacquiao. I don't even know who this guy is. But I'm just happy that, I'm working with Ryzen, Famio for this amazing event. I know it's going to be big. I know in Japan they had like 40 or 60,000 people in that arena, so I'm excited. for his words. Like I said, fuck you. How about that? Nah, but I don't even know this guy. Like I said, I just know that he was trying to knock out Manny Pacquiao. It pissed me off. So I'm looking to teach this man a lesson and teach him how to box.
Fuck you, how about that? And then the face-off was pretty heated as well. Here's the two gentlemen going toe-to-toe, head-to-head, face-to-face. And I think Ryan got a little bit annoyed there for a moment. Do we have the face-off? There it is. Here you go. Face-to-face, forehead-to-forehead. Boo. And then he pushed him. Ryan's taking it very lightly. And so let's see what happens. All in good fun. That's December 30th here in the United States. Unfortunately, right afterwards, Oscar De La Hoya tweeting this about the fight. And I asked Ryan about his relationship with Golden Boy. He tweeted, Golden Boy Promotions has exclusive rights to Ryan Garcia's fights. The organizers of the event have acknowledged as such and have agreed in writing that our sign-off is needed for this event to occur. As no such sign-off has been given, as of today, there is no event with Ryan Garcia. Garcia afterwards tweeting the SMH emoji, the facepalm emoji. I reached out to his team. I reached out to the organizers of the event, waiting to hear back where it stands. We presume it will all get sorted out, but that is a major development. Let's see how it all continues to unfold. Top of the show, I played Bryan Battle's post-fight interview in Paris after his win over Kevin Jousset. As of right now, November 27th, 2024, it is the promo of the year. It's one of my favorite post-fight promos / interviews in UFC history. He's going to join us in a second, but to refresh your memory, or if you're joining us late, here's what Bryan Battle said in front of a sold-out, raucous Accor Arena crowd in Paris, France.
Mike, I gotta say something right quick. Yeah, keep booing me, baby. Keep booing me. I love it. I love it. Listen. People been booing me and doubting me since I started training. I love it. The more you boo me, the stronger I get, baby. I'm used to this. Y'all can't stop me. Keep it up, baby. Keep it up. Y'all can't stop me. Hey, USA this baby. Yeah, let me hear it. Hey, I know y'all didn't think the Butcher was gonna lose in a fist fight to a French dude. I know y'all did not think the Butcher was gonna lose in a fist fight to a French dude.
I can't get enough of that. I could watch it over and over again. Tremendous, epic stuff. And without further ado, let us say hello to the man who was on the mic in that clip. The Butcher, Bryan Battle. What's up, my man? How are you?
Ariel, you son of a bitch, how the hell are you? Thank you for having me on the show today, man. I really appreciate that.
Oh, it is our honor. Dude, I got to say, like that is magic right there. When I watched it, I was like, holy shit, this guy is a superstar. This guy is someone that the UFC needs to get behind. And I wanted to know, all of that spontaneous, all of that in the moment, off the top of the dome, or did you prep any of that beforehand?
Man, I tell you, I really had something a little bit more wholesome, I was going to say initially. But like, they were booing so loud, you know, I was like, there's no point in trying to say anything that anyone's going to remember. You know what I'm saying? So what was funny is like the losing a fist fight to a French guy, that was kind of like a little running joke I had. You know, like people would ask me, they're like, okay, so what's your game plan for the fight? And I'd be like, all right, you know, I'm going to do this. He's going to do this. I'm going to do that. He's going to do this. But at the end of it, I'd always be like, but, you know, worst case scenario, I'm not going to lose in a fist fight to like a French guy. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to lose a fight to a French dude. And so that was like a joke. But, you know, they were giving it to me so bad, I had to give it to them back. You feel me?
Oh, my God. Absolute magic. And I'm a sucker for that stuff as a longtime pro wrestling fan. And I felt like there was like, I equated it to like 1984 WWF at Madison Square Garden as the heel from Russia or Iran is speaking to the American crowd. That's what it felt like. Are you a pro wrestling guy as well? Because I sense something there.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, it's I'm more of a ruthless aggression era guy, you know what I'm saying? A little bit, I idolize or romanticize the attitude era just like everyone else. But, yeah, it's just like those guys, they know how to entertain people. They know how to like get the crowd riled up. And I've been watching that stuff since I was a kid. So in the crowd, anytime the crowd gives you energy, it's really easy to play off of that. You know what I'm saying? Whether it's negative or positive energy, I'll take whatever I can get. You know what I'm saying? Give me something to do. You know what I'm saying? Don't just be sitting there. So even if you're booing me, you're giving me the middle finger and you're cussing me out, I love it. You know what I'm saying? I really do. That was just me being honest. That part was me being honest.
Yeah.
I really did love them being vocal with their displeasure of my antics.
I have heard from people who say it's more fun being the heel, the bad guy, than the good guy, the baby face. And something tells me that you fall into that category as well. More fun when people are booing you as opposed to back home in Charlotte where they're cheering you?
So it's like, because that's two totally different things. I would say when I go back and watch the Charlotte fight, I can still get emotional sometimes because I just remember everything that led up to that, all the people who were there. And so that was like an emotional fight. This fight was 100% the most fun. That was the most fun I ever had. Every part of it, like the fight week leading up to it, the ceremonial weigh-ins, the walkout, the fight, the post-fight, everything was just so much fun. You know what I'm saying? And it's like I'm thankful for the crowd. Everyone, thinks that the French people hate me. You know what I'm saying? They just want to have a good time. They want to be involved. You know what I'm saying? So you give me something to work with, I'm gonna get you involved. You feel me?
What was the walk back to the locker room after that interview like?
Oh man, that was crazy. Like people are throwing stuff at you. They're saying all
legit.
Sorts of,
they're throwing legit stuff.
Saying.
What are they throwing at you?
Oh,
cups and stuff, drinks,
cups and stuff. There's beer flying everywhere. You know what I'm saying? People doing middle fingers, doing all this, and it was, once again, it's like, it was so much fun. I was like, I can't believe like how angry everyone is right now. This is incredible. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I don't know. I guess there's like something, when there's 18,000 people and all of them are like focused on you and, even if they all hate your guts, there's something intoxicating about that.
You were never worried or uncomfortable or afraid for your safety or anything like that?
Nah.
Okay. I feel like you'd have taken them all on yourself. All 18,000.
They're not going to beat me in a fist fight. They need some weapons. You know what I'm saying? That's all I mean.
Oh my gosh. And clear it up for us. And I know you've kind of touched on it. You were not fined. There was no 250,000. None of that nonsense, right?
Nah, man, that was hilarious too. Cause I'm just on the airport, like going back, and I'm scrolling on my feed and I see that. And I was like, wait, did I just get like fined? Like, I was like, well, I'm having to text my agent and stuff like that. But, nah, that was just, it was a fake account that had the picture of a real account and just kind of like took a life of its own. It was kind of funny, you know what I'm saying? I never publicly said anything about it, like went out of my way, because it was just like, any press is good press. The more people are talking about me, the more the legend grows. You know what I mean?
I did see a video afterwards, after the fight, where you were out on the streets, and it seemed like people were showing you mad love, like you were taking pictures and everyone was coming up to you. No incidents or anything like that.
No, man. It's they're still fans. You know what I'm saying? They're fans, and people would tell me like the week of leading up to the fight, they'd come up and be like, "Can I take a picture?" They'd be like, "I'm rooting for Kevin," but I'd be like, "Yo, delete that picture." But, even though their guy didn't win, I still went out there and put on a great fight. It wasn't like, I just hugged them for 15 minutes. We went out there, we had a great fight. You know what I'm saying? I gave them it was more than a fight, it was a memory. You know what I'm saying? So they were very gracious, and I appreciated them a lot.
Usually the UFC tries to put the French fighters on the Paris cards. For the rest of your career, you need to fight in Paris. We need to see this feud continue, you versus the French people.
Dude, me versus the world.
Okay, fair enough.
Me versus the world. Like, I'm trying to go fight in Brazil. You know what I mean? I'm trying to go fight. They got the London card coming up. I want to go fight all the hometown guys. That was just, oh man, this the feeling of, crushing someone's hopes and dreams in front of their friends and families. It's just like, there's nothing quite like that, brother.
That's a little sinister, no?
A little bit, yeah.
Like, it's one thing to beat the guy. You are relishing crushing their hopes and dreams in front of their friends and family.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it's either his hopes and dreams or my hopes and dreams. And, you know, stack the odds in their favor. You know what I'm saying? Give them the handicap. You know what I'm saying? I'm still going to whoop their ass. You know what I'm saying? They're going to leave that fight knowing that there was no point in time where they're ever going to beat Bryan Battle. You know what I mean? So, yeah, no, I'm trying to go all around the world. You know what I'm saying? Uncle Dana, I'm trying to go fight all the hometown guys in each, wherever we're going. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to go there.
I love that. Well, the next one isn't outside of the U.S., but it's a massive one. It's UFC 310, Las Vegas. Not your first time fighting in Vegas, but your first time at T-Mobile, a little different than the Apex. Were you expecting to return this quickly, a little over 2 months later?
I was asking to, but I wasn't expecting to. You know, is that they have you kind of have like a window you expect to have in between each fight. You know what I'm saying? No matter how the last fight went, you know, it's like I've had fights where, you know, I knocked the dude out in under a minute and I still had to wait half a year to get another fight. So I definitely didn't expect to get this fight so quick, but fortunately it's just the way, you know, I conduct myself and treat the fight game. You know what I'm saying? I'm just like always ready to fight. So when I got the news for that, you know, this is like the biggest platform I've fought on against the most well-known opponent. It was just like a no-brainer. It was a blessing, you know what I'm saying? So I'm just grateful for the opportunity. I'm ready to go out there and just put on a show.
And so how do you feel about Randy Brown as of late? Looking good on a roll. Seems like he's putting it all together. You impressed with him?
No, he's looking sharp. He's looking really sharp, but you know, Randy's Randy. You know what I mean?
What's that mean, Randy's Randy?
Randy's Randy, you know, is it's not like, you know, you see some people, they kind of change things up and they kind of you know, mix things up. You can see development and growth and change throughout their career. And Randy's always been really, really good. You know, I remember watching him back in the day, you know, when I was working the door at a bar, you know what I'm saying? I'm watching him in the UFC fighting, you know what I'm saying, while I'm checking IDs at a door, you know what I'm saying? And you know, I remember the first time I watched him, I was pretty taken aback. I was like, man, dude, this guy seems really talented. He's probably going to go really far, you know? But, you know, he's still more or less in that same spot. You know what I'm saying? Randy's Randy. So it's my time now. So, you know, I respect Randy, you know what I'm saying? Out of respect for him, this has been the toughest fight camp I've had. You know what I'm saying? I've pushed my ways in ways that I've never had to push myself before. But as a result of that, I'm on a different level. You know what I'm saying? I'm ready to go put on a show and go, you know, just keep on progressing up the ladder. You know what I'm saying?
Just curious, why do you think, as you put it, he's still in the same spot? Why has he not progressed?
I mean, you know, he's 15 fights in. You know what I'm saying? He's 15 fights in, and once again, he's good. He's talented. He hits hard. He's fast. You know what I'm saying? He's elusive, but I mean, there's like a barrier between him. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, where he's gotten to up to this point. He's kind of just been stagnant there. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just in the most literal way possible. You know what I'm saying? He's just kind of like been in the same spot. You know what I mean? And, you know, I'm looking to go right by him. You know what I'm saying? At UFC 310.
You know, you talked about looking at IDs, bouncing while he's fighting in the UFC. Were you 300 pounds when you were doing that?
Nah, I wasn't 300 pounds when I was bouncing. I was 200. There it goes.
There you are. You right. So MMA Mania posted this that you lost your first amateur fight via knockout, and then you would rattle off 8 wins afterwards. And you quote tweeted this saying, "Most people don't realize I was 21 years old and 300 pounds when I started training. I found my passion and it changed me both mentally and physical." 300, man. What state were you in? What mental and physical state were you in when you started this, and why did you start?
So, you know, mentally and physically, you know, because I was 21, so, you know, it's like I had certain things, you know, I had sports, and, you know, I kind of stopped doing that, and that was like a serious passion for a long time. You know, there was a very like religious period of time, and I was like really involved with a lot of things like that. And, I had just gotten to a point now, but fighting was always something to me. It's like, I always wanted to do it. You know what I'm saying? Like I became a fan when I was in like 8th grade, and I was homeschooled. So, I didn't have like a wrestling team I could join. Um, and, I played football and basketball. That kind of took up all my time. So when I got to 21 and, I wouldn't say like lost my way, but I was kind of like, I was kind of aimless. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't really concerned about my weight too much, a little bit, because I walked up a flight of stairs and I got tired. And that's when I was like, I need to like really lose some weight. But it wasn't something I was like that crazy concerned with just because I was like aimless. You know what I mean? And fighting was always a bucket list thing. So the moment I had time and the money to afford training, I went into a gym. You know what I'm saying? They were like, what do you want to do? It's just like a hobby. You're trying to get in shape. And I was like, which, you hear this all the time when people come to gyms. So I'm like, I want to fight. They're like, okay, well, you got a background in anything? I'm like, no. You know what I mean? Like, all right, well, you keep on showing up, you get good enough, then we'll get you a fight. And so, and that's, the start of a whole new life. You feel me? Like, gave me something to be passionate about, gave me something to get really excited about, and gave me just a reason to do certain things. You know what I'm saying? Like losing weight was really something I did for competitive reasons. Like even that weight I was at in that video. I mean, I might have tried to lose more weight, but I was kind of happy being at. I was 240 pounds in that video. You know what I'm saying? Coming from 300, I was pretty happy at 240. So I guess it's like just the constant challenge that MMA presents and fighting the best dudes in the world presents. It just kind of forces me to, really dig deep and, find out who I am. You know what I mean? Like, find out what I'm made of.
When did you start to believe that you can actually be good at this? When did that start to kick in?
Ariel, I was extremely irrational. Like, it's like I kind of like would have to like talk to him and be like, all right, come on, Bryan, you gotta chill. But I remember my 22nd birthday party, like I got blacked out, drunk, whatever, you know what I'm saying? But there was, it was my 22nd birthday party. So a lot of people ended up just spending the night over at the house. And I remember when people would wake up and they were going to leave the next day. Mind you, I'm probably like 6 months into training at this point. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't let them leave the house. I was still a little drunk, but I wouldn't let them leave the house unless they told me I was going to be the heavyweight champion of the world with a straight face. You know what I'm saying? Like it's like if they said it with a smirk, I was like,
nah,
you don't mean that. You need to say it with a straight face. So, yeah, I don't know. I've just always kind of been like incredibly irrational about it. And then, just, it's one of those things that ignorance is bliss. You don't know what you don't know. You know what I'm saying? And I just like tried really hard. And, I've been just very blessed and fortunate with the people in my life who've helped me get to the position I'm in right now. And, now I'm in a place where it's like skill wise, physically, mentally, resources. It's like, I really am one of the best in the world. And it's like, I can make a push to really go to the top of the division starting right now.
Where did the Pooh Bear nickname come from?
Oh, man, that was, I've been talking junk for a long time. You know what I'm saying? That's one of the reasons it comes off so naturally on the mic. This was when I was going into my second amateur fight. I was going to be on a card with two of my teammates. And that was going to be my first fight at 205. So I'm still a little bit bigger. You know what I'm saying? I'm probably walking around like 220 something, 230. And I was talking junk to one of my teammates and he didn't have any good responses. You know what I mean? And so, I'm yellow. You know what I mean? I didn't have any hair at the time. I was a little fluffier. So he said, okay, Pooh Bear. And I told him this was the mistake. I said, don't call me that. And it's like the moment I told him, because I had another teammate who was sitting there snickering. I didn't think it was clever. I said, bro, don't call me that. I don't want this to. Sure enough, the moment I said that, it just started spreading in the gym. And then when my second fight came up, the commentator was going around. He was making sure he was saying everyone's name right. So he was going up to each corner and like, So he came over to my corner. He said, "Bryan Battle," and I didn't put any of the nickname. Like I did not like the nickname Pooh Bear. I did not want that to be my nickname. But he came over. He said, "Bryan Battle." I was like, "Yes, Bryan Battle." And one of my coaches at the time leaned in and like I don't even know why he covered his mouth. He said it so loud. He was like, "His nickname Pooh Bear." And the announcer, he looked at him. He said, "Are you fucking me right now?" And he was like, "No." He's like, "That's the best fucking shit I've heard all day." And so they went back. They did the fight. They made a bunch of Winnie the Pooh jokes during the fight. You know what I'm saying? And it was funny. And at the time, I was like, "All right, you know what? Whatever. You know, there's no point in fighting this. You know, I might as well just roll with it until it need to be changed."
I think it's brilliant, but now it's been changed. It's now the Butcher, as you mentioned in that post fight speech. Did you give that to yourself, or did someone give that to you?
I gave it to myself.
Yeah. Classic. But it's good. It's working. It's working because you even just
gotta take the bull by the horns.
Yeah, why not? But now you've really leaned in. I believe I don't know, around 2 weeks ago, you live streamed you changing your Pooh Bear tattoo into like a samurai Pooh Bear, right?
Well, it was so it was just there was nothing there. So that was just like my tattoo guy. He wanted to do that as like a shirt or something. He was like, "Hey, like, what do you think about this as a shirt design?" I was like, "That'd be a badass tattoo."
It's a brilliant logo.
Nah, it's badass, right? It's cool, you know what I mean? It's a vibe. And so, you know, when I said that, you know, he was like, "Well, that's some of my original art, you know. Like I would love to like record the session." And so, you know, that's how the live stream kind of popped off, you know. But no, I just saw the moment I saw it, I thought it looked badass, you know what I'm saying? People are obsessed with the butcher knives, but you know, that's got its place, you know what I'm saying? This is just cool regardless.
I think it's great. By the way, why 68 in your handle?
That was my football number.
Okay.
That was no nefarious reasons.
No, I mean it's 68. It's not another number, so I was just curious.
Yeah.
You weren't born in 68, so
no, I wasn't born in 68. Yeah, I think my dad was born in 68. Bless his heart.
The tradition that you do with your team before the fight, very kind of old school, with the slapping and the this thing. Where did that come from?
Man, that's one of those things. We've been doing that forever. We've been doing the slap up forever, right? Like I think since I was an amateur, I did the slap up. You know, it just gets a lot more attention on those shows and arenas. But it didn't used to be Shamik. Shamik is like my teammate. You know, short with the afro. You know, he'll be in the UFC soon. You know, whatever. But the week before my fight in Charlotte, my coach who normally did it, he got accidentally ran over by a U-Haul truck.
Oh my God.
You know what I mean?
Did he survive?
So, he did survive. He's still my coach to this day, Tom Ziegler. Shout out to Coach Tom. But like, I didn't even think, I was shocked that he was even able to like be at the fight and make the walk. Like that was just like some straight willpower. He was like, "I'm not missing this fight. I got to be at this fight." But needless to say, you know what I'm saying? He's sitting there with his crutches and he's like, "Hey guys, I won't be able to slap Bryan up. Who's going to slap Bryan up?" And so, you know, now there's like a little tension, right? Because it's not something that's like actually that complicated, but you're like, damn, you know, we're going to be in an arena. We're going to be in an arena and, you know, there's going to be people watching and stuff. So, you know, Shamik stepped up. Shamik said he'd do it. I gave him the routine. He said after 2 steps, the routine totally went out of his head. So he just kind of wung it and just like that first one, he was just smacking the shit out of me. And then we went. And that double lariat, that's just something we did anyways. And then he smacked the shit out of me. And I was just like, with the way that Charlotte was, like the energy was just so crazy. Like it was really spontaneous. Like you can see me and him yelling at each other, but what you can't see is Tom and John also yelling at me behind Shamik. So it was just like a real moment, you know what I'm saying? Then we hit the double lariat. Then I was ready to go kill somebody, you know what I'm saying?
I love it. There's a guy named Antonio Inoki back in the day. Are you familiar with him? Japanese legend, and he would do that as well. Clay Guida used to do that with his brother. Still does it. So I mean, it looks like it hurts, to be honest, doing that before a fight, but God bless.
Yeah, but we're about to do something that's probably going to hurt a lot more. You know what I'm saying? That's one of the things. It's like I want to get the shock out the way. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't need the first punch to be the first like I don't need that to like be a jarring thing. Like, go ahead and smack the shit out of me. So, I'm already braced for impact.
Do you have a young child?
Two of them.
Two of them. Okay, I saw a photo recently. How old?
I have my son just turned 3. That's Anya right there. She's 9 months. You know what I'm saying? That's my little.
She's so cute. Look at those cheeks.
She is a little tank. That's my little princess. She's a handful, man. She's she's like the opposite of her brother. Her brother was super laid back, super chill. You know what I'm saying? Like I used to take him with me everywhere. Like he would sit in his little baby seat and I would take him to the gym every day. You know what I'm saying? Any gym I went to, I could take him with me. And he would just sit in his chair. And if he cried, it's like I would stop and make him a bottle or I would change his diaper. And then he would just go back to sitting in his chair. Like it was super laid back, low maintenance baby. You know what I mean? His sister, on the other hand, is not like that. You know what I'm saying? She is like the center of attention. You know what I'm saying? Like she swears she can talk. You know what I mean? She's sitting there trying to have conversations with people. She wants to see eye contact. She's got this big personality. And it's funny. I think Anya is going to end up being bigger than her older brother. Like her older brother, I think he's about percentile wise about average. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm taller, his mom's shorter, so I think he's about average. Anya's built like her daddy. You know what I'm saying? That girl, she got the battle genes in her. You know what I'm saying? She might be an athlete somewhere. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Maybe she'll be in the UFC one day. We'll see.
You'd be down with them fighting?
I wouldn't. It's like one of those tough things. It's like, I don't know. I'm not in a position to where I can't be like, no, you can't fight. I'm definitely not going to push them into it by any means. I'll probably encourage other things. Like Miles, I'm definitely going to try to get him to be a race car driver. Like I want to live vicariously through him being a race car driver. Anya, she's a princess. She can do whatever she wants. You know what I'm saying? Like,
is that your favorite thing to watch? NASCAR. I've seen you at NASCAR races and whatnot.
I like NASCAR. I'm a big Formula One guy. I like NASCAR. A little bit bigger on the Formula One.
Wow, interesting. Very, very European of you. Who's your favorite F1 driver?
Max Verstappen, man. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But I started tuning in and I didn't realize when I was picking my fandoms, that Lewis Hamilton was like the only black F1 driver ever. You know what I'm saying? I thought it was a little bit more regular than that. You know what I mean? But that was when he was like dominating. And so, I didn't want to like bandwagon the number one team when I started watching, but I also, all my other sports teams suck. And so I wasn't going to pick a bad team either. Like I was like, this Red Bull team, this Max Verstappen guy, I kind of mess with him. I like his mentality. And, sure enough, he's like a 4-time champion now. That guy's a machine. Just their reflexes and focus and everything like that. I love it. You know what I'm saying? I love to watch the races.
I'm a Daniel Ricciardo guy. That's my guy.
Hell yeah. Daniel Ricciardo. Yeah, man. No,
he's a gigantic MMA fan. I don't know if you know that about him. He's a huge UFC fan.
I've seen clips of him doing stuff. I didn't know if he was like an actual big fan. Or if he was, like, has he ever been to a fight?
Yeah. I believe he was in the one in New Jersey this past June. He was there, and he's been to I think one in Australia. He's Australian, obviously, so
yeah,
not a ton, but I know he's a gigantic fan. He's also a big Buffalo Bills fan, like myself. So we've been able to bond over those two things.
Yeah, Buffalo Bills is. I mean, I can't say nothing. I'm a Giants fan. You know what I mean?
Giants. So how did that happen?
My dad's from New Jersey.
Oh, okay.
Choice, you know what I'm saying? I came out the womb and he put me in a Giants outfit,
Well, I mean, between Giants and Panthers, it's like,
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, if I'm gonna like start watching another sport, I'm going to the top.
Yeah.
The whole fandom has been painful. You feel me? So you say like, who's your favorite driver? I'll say Max Verstappen. People are like, oh, of course it's Max Verstappen. I'm like, you don't know the pain I've been.
Yeah.
All the tears I've shed.
I feel you. What does Robbie Lawler mean to you?
Robbie Lawler is, I honestly, I probably would have started training at some point, but if like really like honestly from the bottom of my heart, like watching him fight Roy McDonald and that title fight, that was the moment I was like, I need to do at least one fight. Like I gotta test myself. You know what I'm saying? I gotta see what I was made of. Because I was like, to me, that felt like the most manly thing I'd ever seen. Like that was like something out of a movie. It was like a spiritual moment, and it was really inspiring to me, you know. And then just his whole story in general, the way he went about fighting, you know, it was like something I resonated with. So, like I was always a huge, like I started training. I almost went to Atlanta for the fight with Tom Woodley. Thank goodness I didn't go.
Oh wow, yeah, UFC 201. That was a crazy one. I love that fight. The Rory McDonald one, and I have a Rory McDonald. You see that right there? That's obviously of him, but that's right before the 5th round, and kind of represents just how gruesome it was. I feel like you're the kind of cat who would love to be in a fight like that, despite how taxing it might be on your body.
It would be, yeah. There is something about it. I mean, it's like yes and no, like because on like one hand there is like a certain point where it gets to like a spiritual point, you know what I'm saying? It's like it really becomes a testament of willpower, and you know, it's like that's like one of the most incredible like rushes you can like experience, you know, just like your will versus another person's will, and who's gonna like come out on top. But you know, there's also something to be said about going out there and your will is so imposing, you know, you just go and get them out of there easy peasy. And so it's like I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to having a moment where it's like I can truly like have a contest of wills, but you know, it has to be with a worthy opponent, you know what I'm saying? And I got to be good enough to, you know, when that moment comes, it's special. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to be having fights like that every time. Like if every fight's like that, then it's not good. But you know, to have a fight like that periodically, that's when it becomes special.
Well, first UFC pay-per-view card that you're on, that's next weekend, UFC 310 against a vet, a name, Randy Brown. By the way, any pressure to now everyone's, if it all goes your way, next weekend, they're going to, you know, really wait and see. I certainly will. What you got on the mic for us. Is there pressure there now?
Bro, we just have to see what happens.
All right.
You know what I mean? Like it's like this has all just been one crazy, like I feel like I'm riding like a big wave. And it's like I just have to focus on just like what's coming next. You know, I can't look ahead. You know what I'm saying? I can't look behind me. I just gotta like stay in this moment and just like ride the wave. And you know, probably I'll probably say something crazy. You know, we'll see what the crowd gives me. We'll see how the fight goes. But yeah, no, man, I'm looking forward to it.
But there's a method to the madness because, I mean, look at a guy like Renato Moicano, been in the UFC for years. All of a sudden, he starts delivering on the mic. He delivered right after you with a contender for promo of the year as well in his own right, and now everyone loves him. Look at you. You were in the UFC for several years. You pull that off, and now everyone's like, holy shit, this guy is incredible. And so it just goes to show it's not just about like, oh, I want to fight this guy next. You have to have character. You have to have passion. You have to make us want to care. And you did that perfectly. And to your point, it was so natural and fun and authentic. Keep riding that wave, my man. So I wish you nothing but the best. Well done. And good luck. Good luck next weekend. Can't wait to see you back in there. I love that fight.
Thank you. All right. Yeah, I'm gonna go whoop Randy, and then y'all gonna have to have me back on the show again.
It's a deal. It's a deal, my man. Thank you so much, Bryan. All the best to you. Good luck and happy Thanksgiving.
All right, thank you, brother. You too.
All right, there he is, Bryan Battle. How could you not love that guy? What a great personality. What a great demeanor. What a great vibe. Very much looking forward to this fight. The card is great, by the way. The card is great. UFC 310 obviously lost the main event, but excited for the debut of Kaya Sakura. I feel like they're promoting it well. Excited for the Shavkat versus Ian Gary fight. Excited for the return of Ciryl Gane. Excited for that particular fight. Anthony Smith on the card, among others. A lot to like there. UFC 310 rapidly approaching. We'll have a lot of coverage as we get closer to it next week with all the regular shows back. Bryce Mitchell versus Kron Gracie coming out of nowhere. Aljamain Sterling, of course, against Movsar Evloev. Nate Landwehr against Dooho Choi. Vicente Luque against Themba Gorimbo. I mean, this is kind of an old school pay-per-view where almost every single fight on the card has a name or two, and it means something. Randy Brown, Bryan Battle. Oh, by the way, Chris Weidman versus Eric Anders. Michael Chiesa versus Max Griffin. The aforementioned Clay Guida against Chase Hooper. Kennedy and Nzechukwu on there against Lucas Bresky. And Cody Durden against Joshua Van. That's a very good card, by the way, guys.
Yeah, it's missing that. It's missing that, like, you know, A++ headliner, but I feel like the value was spread throughout the rest.
Old school, right? Like
yeah.
Spike TV
I dig
days,
it.
top to bottom. Absolutely.
There's something for everybody on that card. I'm excited about it. And the more the longer this has had to set in, the closer it gets. Ian Gary versus Shavkat is
so good.
Such a sick fight.
So freaking good.
I would like to have seen Shavkat fight Bilal for the title, but Ian Gary versus Shavkat is a sick fight, and I'm very excited for it.
So no UFC this weekend, rare weekend off, and next weekend, last pay-per-view the following weekend, last show, the one in Tampa Bay, or Tampa. But there is a lot, like I said at the top of the show, a lot of combat sports. Thursday, tomorrow, midday here in America on DAZN, you've got the Misfits Supercard. If that is your thing, it's the Supercard in Qatar. They had the weigh-ins earlier today. And the main event, Slim versus Gib. Ade Oladipo telling us yesterday on the Ariel and Ade program that this is a massive one, that Gib is just a notch below Jake Paul and KSI, which is quite the hot take. This is what happened in Qatar. Our guy, Ben the Bane, was in the middle of it all with the microphone. Look at these two. Gib on the left, Slim on the right, KSI in the middle there. Look at Ben jumping in there. Ben jumping in there with the microphone. And so you've got that. You've got King Kenny, Saul Poppy, and some of the other players, Misfits, looking to end the year in a big way. And then, of course, they have the January 18th card headlined by Tommy Fury versus Darren Till. That is on Thursday. On Friday, you have the PFL championship card all day in Riyadh. So another day card, if that is your thing. Big one, Brendan Loughnane. To me, the most interesting fight on the card is Dakota Dacheva against Tyler Santos, the ultimate test in her young career. There's something like 16 fights on the card. If you are sitting at home with nothing to do, there's a lot for you to watch, and actually kind of brilliant in a way to do it, in the middle of the day. I know it's happening in Riyadh, so that's the main reason for it, but most people here in America are off, so you can watch it in the midst of all the other things that you are doing. Saturday evening is Survivor Series in Vancouver, and that is a big one. Bloodline OG Bloodline against the new Bloodline. Very fun stuff. War Games, Survivor Series. A nice way.
I saw CM Punk is on the new Bloodline, right?
Yeah, Paul Heyman comes back, and he brings out the CM Punk.
That's pretty.
Paul Heyman guy, come back.
Somebody sent me, I forget if it was in this group chat or some of my wrestling friends, they sent me the picture of like them when they're younger together. It was
back in the day.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it goes deep. Sami Zayn's on there. Really, really fun. Really, really fun stuff. And they built it up very nicely. Survivor Series is a classic Thanksgiving weekend. I personally loved when it was on Thursday, when it was on actual Thanksgiving evening, but this is close enough. It's happening in Canada, which is interesting, American holiday. But nonetheless, War Games, the introduction of War Games to Survivor Series has made that pay-per-view infinitely more interesting. It used to, just a couple of years ago, I went to the one in Brooklyn, and it was just Raw versus SmackDown, and there was nothing to it, and it was feeling like it was on really its last legs. It was feeling dead. And then they brought back War Games, and all of a sudden it's a thing. It's the two rings together, the cage, and all that stuff. Classic stuff. Look it up. War Games. Very, very fun. Saturday afternoon, speaking of Bloodline, we have two Bloodline wars taking place on Saturday. Evening, Survivor Series, afternoon. It's a different kind of Bloodline. It's Sonny Edwards against Galal Yafai. I was going to say a different kind of Bloodline fight. I don't really know how to phrase that, but you get the point. It's family versus family. It's the Yafais versus the Edwardses. And if you want to learn more about this fight and the backstory, watch the Ariel and Ade show, because Ade Oladipo did a great job of breaking it down yesterday on the show. But I will give you a brief synopsis. Essentially, Sonny Edwards and Galal Yafai were on the amateur scene. They fought on the amateur scene 2015 going into the 2016 Olympic Games. Yafai is chosen to represent Team GB at the Olympics. Edwards not chosen. He decides to go pro flyweight, ends up becoming a flyweight world champion, climbs the ranks. Yafai ends up winning a gold medal in 2021 in Tokyo at the 2020 Games. Due to COVID, it was pushed back a year, of course. And Edwards at that point is climbing the ranks. He becomes a world champion. He fights Bam Rodriguez last year around this time in Arizona, doesn't win the fight. And the brothers and the family have been rivals for quite some time. Yafai now becomes a pro. He's climbing the ranks, less pro fights, but he's turning into a solid pro fighter as is. And so now here they are meeting in Birmingham on Saturday afternoon in DAZN. And again, I'll say it, no one does promos better than Matchroom. Matchroom does the best job of any combat sports entity right now, in my opinion, getting you to care. They really up it. And give me these types of promos over the 6-minute long theatrical ones. Those are fun. Those are great. Don't get me wrong. But I love the ones. And sometimes you just don't have anything to work with. Like, not every fight. The best of the Riyadh season promos was Crawford Majumov. That was the best because it told a story and how these two people from two different backgrounds were able to come together and show the differences and somewhat similarities. Crawford Majumov coming from two different worlds coming together in Los Angeles in August. This particular one was done so well, and I've given a shout out to my guy, Alex Haynes. I have to do it again because he leads the charge for Matchroom in this regard. They've done so many great ones. The Joe Cordina one in Monaco last year, the Warrington Wood Warrington one, the Nottingham and Leeds rivalry coming to a head. This one is up there, and it might be the best one. No joke. Edwards Yafai. It's a 90-second promo. Do me a favor, sit back and watch this, and tell me afterwards that you are not compelled to watch this fight on Saturday. Take a look.
What's it like growing up in a fighting family?
I don't know, man. But it's all I knew.
You learn the hard way, I suppose. It's fight or flight.
So I chose to stand and fucking fight. Simple. Yeah, man, taking a few beatings, shed a few tears, bled a little.
I got faster, I got slicker.
Soon, couldn't be touched. And that's when this shit got fun.
I watched my brother become world champion.
I watched my brother become world champion.
And I thought,
I want a bit of that. And I did, and I'll do it again.
And when I do, I'll do it for a name.
My name.
It's more than pride. It's blood.
It's family.
And that means everything.
Maybe you're listening to this and my words don't resonate, but that's okay, because they will. When I walk to that ring on November the 30th,
take a moment and read the name on my shorts.
Look at the figure beside me.
This isn't just about me.
It's about me, it's about him, it's about us.
And all the lessons they taught me.
Edwards.
Yafai.
This is our story. This is our heritage. This is our bloodline.
I have watched that now a gazillion times, each and every time. Goosebumps. That's it. I mean, that's all you need. That is beautiful. That is art right there. That is cinema, as they say, and I can't wait for it. It's a big fight. It's a domestic dust-up, as they say. And by the way, go check out Carl Froch's YouTube channel. He's done extensive videos breaking down this fight. He's paid a lot of attention to it because he's a traditional boxing analyst. None of the other stuff. He's not talking about that other stuff. He's talking about great fights, traditional, true blue boxing fights like Edwards Yafai. So I highly suggest checking out his YouTube channel for more on a great traditional boxing bout like that one. He could tell you all about Sonny Edwards and Galal Yafai. I do want to give a very hearty mazel tov to the one and only the Welsh gangster, Oban Elliott. What a time. What a time. Wow, this guy flying high. Just signed a brand new deal with the UFC. Thank you to Shore Fighter Management. Of course, the great Shaky Shore spearheading for all the great fighters coming out of Wales. By the way, is that the new house? Nice kitchen. Looking good, Oban. Looking good, my man. Looking good, brother. For getting this over the line. Thank you to everyone who has played a part in my journey so far. Thank you to everyone who has supported me over the years. Here's to world domination. Enough said. I'm the proudest man on God's green earth. Brother, who's the man in New York, brother? Now, wait.
Nice shirt.
Take a quick. Okay, that's all well and good. Congrats, Oban. Tremendous. But look at that merch right there. You know what? That's Mensch. Signing the contract wearing the TKO hat, company man, but rocking the El Nariz. That's salt of the earth right there. That's, you know what? Can I say something?
Say it.
That might be wall worthy.
Nice.
Am I crazy?
No, I mean, okay. No, you're not crazy. Yeah, this is a good idea.
I mean, signing your new UFC deal, that's on par with Casey O'Neill, which is right here. Still with me. Casey O'Neill wearing the thug nose at a UFC media day. Epic. Legendary. We shall never forget. That's up there, in my opinion. Signing the new UFC deal, wearing the El Nariz merch, which you can get right now at ArielHelwani.com, the official merch store. Oh my God, you know yourself, right? I have noticed no one really wears the merch on the program or comes to the show wearing the merch. Any particular reason?
Literally wore it on air, and you acknowledge that. Other than that part, yes.
I'm wearing it.
We're working on hoodies. The Merch King has never worn it. Why is that, GC? Do they not fit well? Is the box cut not boxy enough?
Have I ever seen you wear the merch on the show?
Of course I've worn it on the show. Also, I have a bit of I can't wear a t-shirt on the show. You guys wear t-shirts. I don't. I've done the post show wearing the merch.
At home in the comfies. Like I said, I will wear it. It's when you least expect it.
Okay, fair enough. I
It's the
appreciate
middle
that.
of the night.
I appreciate it.
I just love how much it means to you that it was. You guys never wear it. No, I actually wore it for a whole show. Just
thanks for watching.
Forgot about
We
that
appreciate
part.
it.
Yeah, thanks for
watching.
your support of my support.
It was one and done. I'd like to say.
Oh, so every week
we need to
now.
wear it every day.
Okay,
Now we
all
have
right.
uniforms.
So now
here
there's
at
a
Uncrowned,
uniform
and
policy
that's
here
the
at
Helwani merch.
Uncrowned.
Yeah,
Okay,
I mean,
got it.
We're
got
independent contractors. That's what independent contractors do. They wear a uniform. We've got like 5 shirts now, so you can kind of go Monday through Friday.
I only have one of them.
You would think that the team over there that's working on that, just send them to the boys.
You know
hey.
what? We need to talk to Brandon. You're right.
It's actually the second day this week I've just worn black, and
Yeah,
me and Rick are matching.
We just got a beg for it. Okay.
I had an overshirt, but we lost that during the bike race.
Is it still back there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, did you? Oh wow.
No one's here today, so no one's going to take it.
No one's here. No one
was a
works.
little
Your glass
disappointed.
It is a national holiday.
When they were giving us the pitch here to come over, bring the whole operation Uncrowned, etc. They did tell us that Wednesdays would be coffee day here at Uncrowned HQ.
Yeah, but they gave him the day off because it's a holiday.
Well, no, it's been fantastic. I like to have a nice little. I actually look forward to the matcha chai. I have it right here during the show. Sip it while you're doing the program on the nose. Show up today, guy's not there.
Right, it's a holiday.
Nah, come on.
You want to call him and be like, "Hey,
Yeah.
why aren't you here?"
Hey, brother, where you at? He's gonna be like,
It's not a holiday. It's 1
The
to
amount
3.
of people I saw.
He has the little Venmo thing.
You love that guy.
On the
I
bar.
always
You can
overtip.
Scan that. Send him a message. Where are you? today?
Yeah.
Send him a few bucks and say, "Where are you?"
All right, good point.
He'll send him back and be like, it's a holiday.
He'll be YWD, or YWM. Sorry.
Or TYSM.
Yeah, that's a good one though.
TYSM.
Yes. Anyway, I was a little disappointed. Could we go back to a couple more questions and then we'll call it a day? How about that? Nick Hammer. We'll go back to the questions here over at Ariel.
If that's your real name, that's very strong. Nick Hammer just sounds like
Sounds like a lawyer, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Love it. Strong name.
Ariel, let's talk PFL for a second. All right, let's do it. After the tape delay betting fiasco of a couple of years ago, PFL Europe being not watchable in America, hype of Jake Paul signing diminished, no opponent for Francis Calagon, Dawn being unrealistic, and the only halfway decent cards being on pay-per-view, how do you see their future going now compared to when they signed Jake and Francis at the time? When they signed Francis Ngannou, I never said this was a game changer per se. I think that there's this misnomer that I'm like Mr. PFL. I think I've been quite critical of them. I don't think they should ever be in the pay-per-view business. They don't have that roster. I was critical of PFL and their model when I was at ESPN, and they were on ESPN. And Rick can tell you that's a big no-no. And I was saying, I don't like the season format. Just make the best fights. Make the best fights, have the best roster, build stars that way. The season format just doesn't do it for me. Is it fun in a vacuum? Oh, it's a championship. Great. Yes. Love it. But overall, I don't think you can build a fight league that way. It didn't work for IFL. I don't think it ultimately will work for PFL. And their biggest fight cards have been non-tournament cards. The ones in Paris, the one in Riyadh, etc. They need to do a better job selling tickets. You need to build stars to sell tickets. They're paying a lot of money, especially this weekend, right? On Friday, $1 million purses, that's a lot. If you're not selling tickets now, obviously the Saudi cards are a little bit different, but they're starting to move towards those cards more. The Dubai deal in January. Ultimately, here's what I think is going to happen. 2025 is going to be a gigantic, dare I say, make or break year for PFL. ESPN deal is coming to an end. Let's see where they go from there. And obviously, whatever UFC and ESPN do is going to be a huge development as well. One of the biggest stories of the year, if not the biggest to watch come next year. That and probably the future of Conor McGregor. But on a larger business scale, it's that one, the former. What are they going to do with all these Bellator guys? Are they going to try to combine the two? It's not that easy. A lot of those Bellator guys make more than your average PFL guy. And so you notice they brought a lot of the Bellator guys over to PFL, but not the top dogs. The reason for that is paying those guys to fight 3-4 times in a year in addition to the $1 million is just, for PFL right now, not economically feasible. So are we moving down a path of them cutting ties with a lot of these guys like they had to do with the Gegard Mousasi's of the world, and the PR nightmare that will come as a result of that will not be fun. And so what are they going to do? And how are they going to keep building stars? And how are they going to make us invested in these names? There's enough UFC right now. In the year 2024, Strikeforce was able to have a foothold. Pride, Elite XC to a degree, because there weren't 43 UFC events. Now it's almost every single weekend. How do you differentiate yourself? That's why I think BKFC is having some success, because they're able to differentiate themselves. They have something different, but it is leaning towards MMA. BKFC is attempting to sell 18,000 tickets on January the 25th. Is there any card, is there any fight, is there any type of event that PFL could put on in the year 2025 that can sell 18,000 tickets in the United States of America? I say no. Do you guys disagree?
Has to be Jake Paul. Other than that, no.
I don't think the Jake Paul thing is a thing.
I don't either, but
Francis
that's
Ngannou on the same card.
I think Jake Paul was a strategic move on their part to get, it's become very clear, to get attention, to be a part of the promotion, but there is no talk of him fighting MMA, and I think it would be absolute lunacy at this point for him to fight MMA. Unless it's some crazy one-off where there's no takedowns or anything and it's like a dirty boxing thing. I just don't see it. Is there anyone for Francis to fight that is selling 18,000 tickets?
Nobody that is available, no.
So how are they going to differentiate themselves? How are they going to have a different kind of product? Do they become more of a international brand? Are they more of the European, Middle East, Africa brand? I don't know, but there's a lot that they need to figure out. They've reached a certain point and they've become number 2 by default, but there's a lot to be concerned with. And they have the the great fortune of being number 2 because they acquired the previous number 2. One championship feels like they're moving further and further away from MMA. And then there's, the KSWs of the world and the Cage Warriors of the world and the Octagons of the world. And the difference between those organizations and PFL, they sell tickets. And so if I were in charge, I would try to lean more into the places that actually buy tickets to your events. Paris, England, those markets, Ireland. I know why they're keeping Bellator around, at least for now. TV deal, etc. Are they going to be on Max? Are they going to go somewhere else? There's a ton of questions there. And so, yes, I share the concern that Nick is presenting, and there's a lot that you could say this isn't adding up. This isn't adding up. I do think that it would benefit them greatly to have a promoter type who can speak to the fight fan with passion. I like Don Davis, but when he speaks, it sounds like he is speaking to investors. Lorenzo didn't go up there on the dais because he didn't have the fire and the passion that Dana had. Dana got you excited. Dana got you connected. Dana got you emotionally invested in the stories and the fights and the fight cards. Don doesn't do that. And so the perfect scenario would be Don being the Lorenzo and someone else being the Dana. That person just doesn't exist for them right now. He did an interview recently, I think it was with Mike Heck of MMA Fighting, and he was asked, what's his favorite MMA fight of all time, and he gave an answer that I don't know if it will go down as akin to the Hulk Hogan I didn't do steroids answer on Arsenio Hall, which has sort of stuck with him throughout his career, because afterwards it was proven that he did take steroids. But to say that you don't watch MMA and that you don't have a favorite fight, like that is a layup of all layups. Just say Shane Burgos, the fight that he had, or say that I don't know, pick a random Kayla Harrison fight. Pick anything under the PFL umbrella. What's the best PFL fight of all time? It's hard to even think of one because they all kind of bleed together. Is it the Burgos fight? Would people say that? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know off dome. I mean, Pacheco and Harrison, the last one was pretty damn good.
But you know what I'm saying? How many events have they put on and nothing? But like, he should know. You can't say that type of thing. So anyway, litany of things. Let's see what happens in 2025.
But these are all fair things proposed, but what I kind of get back to is like the only fix for this is roster. It will always be roster.
Yes, but you also have to be able to use the roster in the right way, and I don't think using them in the playoff regular season format is the right way.
But my question is, do they even have the roster right now?
No, they don't.
Even even if the Bellator and PFL,
it would make it better. It would make it better, but the problem is those guys aren't going to take a pay cut. Now, it could be, hey, pay cut, or you're going to be out of a job, and they might be, SOL, but it could potentially get ugly. Back to the questions. HG Spike. Yo, Ariel and crew. The next question is just for Rick for no reason, absolutely no reason at all. Would you rather every time you sneeze you turn into, or sorry, you turn
Is this the same guy every time?
I don't know.
Because I feel like I've been in and out, like on the days we've been asking these, I've been like popping in. Is this the same guy?
The way it's written, it sounds similar.
Okay, got it.
Would you rather every time you sneeze you turn invisible for 20 minutes?
Okay.
Or every time you throw up, you have to write a different 3-page book report on the same book again and again. You have to choose one. Thank you in advance for taking this seriously.
How is this one even like debate? Like,
it's got to be the sneeze.
One, I get a superpower, and one, I get like a punishment. Like, yeah, I would I would force myself to sneeze. I'd be like inhaling pepper, and then be able to turn myself invisible and do whatever I want. So yeah, of course that one. Easy.
What would you do if you were invisible?
Yeah, see, this is off the record stuff. This is where we don't, talk about what I'm doing, but there might be some.
How long would you be invisible?
We already have a mysterious person on the team.
How long are you invisible for?
20 minutes.
Is that what it said?
Yeah, 20 minutes.
Oh, okay.
Imagine the debauchery you could get away with in 20 minutes.
There's
also,
a lot that I could do in 20
sneezing is much more common than throwing up.
No, but the throwing up one is a punishment. I don't want to write an essay.
Yeah, this is a horrible one.
This is a bad one by that guy.
Yeah.
Usually they're pretty comparable. This one, no good.
If I never throw up again for the rest of my life, I would be thrilled.
Yeah.
It's not as
probably
not
not
as great
gonna
as you
happen.
think it is.
It's not as cracked up.
We got a few more in us. As a man who also hates throwing up, we definitely got a few more in us.
Great Seinfeld episode about the throwing up streak.
Hopefully, hopefully I can go like a decade without it.
Yeah. John Bob 19. Hello, Helwani and the crew. Can we get the AH Show Premier League Fantasy Football League back in our lives for next season? Maybe a quick segment on one of the Uncrowned shows. Yeah, we took a break, but I would love to do it. I didn't do it with my kids. My kids have gone so into basketball. Like, they hardly watch soccer now. They
feel like
go
that's
through
a
these.
common theme. I don't hear anything about soccer from you guys anymore. So
No, I'm still. Listen,
cool.
The chat is just me. You go to the Forest chat. It's just blue, 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 blue. They're all
in the Forest chat. I'm not in it anymore, right?
No.
Okay.
It's me. It's GC. It's Frank who hasn't
me?
written. I think we once.
Frank's in it.
Frank's in
he
it.
was
Yeah.
as quiet as I was.
I
How did
know.
he even get? I feel bad for Frank.
No. There was one week where Frank was like, "I'm diehard Forest."
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
got
And
it.
so we added him, and
I'm a lurker now.
and it's crazy because
Frank
they're
has-
actually doing great. They're 7th.
Frank has never turned on a Premier League game. I actually watch.
Frank's a
Watched
lurker
a few
on
with
his own
you
group
in
chats.
real time.
Anyway, would love to do it again. It's just, when the season started, there was so much going on here. Launching this whole empire, we were very busy. But perhaps.
Who the fuck is we?
Yeah, well, I guess you're right. Jimmy, hi from the DMZ in South/North Korea for a research trip. But couldn't miss asking a question. What?
The demilitarized zone?
Yes.
Yeah.
God bless, man. Stay safe. Did you have a dream number of kids, or did you want one more in the future? Also, knowing you're a big germ guy, would you ever use public restrooms? And I'm not talking about the urinals. Thanks, Ariel. Hopefully I don't get trapped in North Korea. Yeah. No kidding. Good luck.
By the way, these are like the things he's wondering. Like he's worried about getting trapped in North Korea, but before he does, he needs to get your answer on how many kids and you ever use a public.
In my mind, it was always 3 or 4, and I do strongly believe in 2018 we were gifted sweet matcha, and I think that became a big responsibility, and it just kind of ended it. Also, having a daughter after the 2 boys, I think if the third was a boy, I think there would have been a push for a 4th to try and have a girl, but felt like we had everything we needed. Everyone was healthy, thank God, and that was that. As for public restrooms, I have to use public restrooms all the time. You know, there's just a certain procedure that we have to put into place when using, and I try to teach this to my kids. Like, you can't touch anything. The little handle thingy, the like. Do you guys touch? This is kind of a debate. Like, do you guys touch the flusher? Please say no.
Yes.
I'm
Foot on the flusher.
Urinal. I'll hit with like one of those as like quick come down with the fist, and then stall. I'll just kick it flush.
What if it's one of those with the buttons on top?
I'll hit it because what Rick's about to say, I'm about to thoroughly wash my hands as soon as I'm done.
Yeah, I'll touch all those things because I'm
okay. But does it bother you that some people use their foot to do it?
I'm that guy.
Yeah, I mean sometimes I use the foot.
I use the foot, but
no,
now
it doesn't bother.
But now why would that bother?
I'm literally about to wash my hands.
It's awful.
It's not all. But if you are about to go wash your hands, like you're about to wash your hands, right?
I feel like it's not enough.
Horrible things and then wash your hands.
I feel like it will take I feel like it will take 10 washes to get rid of it. Okay, let me ask you this: when you the latch thingy, do you touch that
to lock the door?
To unlock the door when you're leaving?
Yeah,
you touch it.
Yeah, because he's gonna wash his hands.
What do you do?
Toilet paper.
Fuck the planet, right?
Fuck the planet.
Did you change your?
It's a square.
Diapers when they were young.
I would bathe in my kids' diapers.
That is like so
I adore
much
my
dirty. Kids are like factories for illness and disease.
Nah, but it's different when it's one of your own.
No, it's not.
It's your DNA. Okay, let me ask you this. Faucet thingy. When you're done washing, what do you touch?
The faucet to turn it off.
Okay, so now the same thing that you touched to start cleaning your hands, you just touched it after you cleaned your hands,
but now the hands
thus making your hands unclean.
Ariel, you were also probably on your phone as you were walking into the bathroom, put it in your pocket for 2 seconds to go to the bathroom, if not kept it out. And
Look at all the grime on his phone.
Then as
sanitize. Every night I sanitize it.
Every night, but not, you washed your hands and then you pulled your phone right back out, so all those germs are right back on it.
If you want to avoid all this, you need to live in a bubble. Otherwise,
no. I'm telling you, I just have procedure. What about the door handle when you leave the bathroom?
But the doesn't make any sense.
Door handle leaving the bathroom.
Sure. There are so many other things that you're doing that are exposing you to these germs anyway. You're wasting your effort. You're wasting time.
Do you touch the door handle?
I touch everything and then I wash my hands like a normal person.
And he drinks raw milk.
Drinks raw?
Raw milk?
You guys don't do raw milk?
What's raw milk?
No.
Oh, wow.
Is it just whole milk? What's raw milk?
Milk that hasn't been pasteurized. Have you guys not been watching the news?
No. Is that bad for you or good for you?
Yeah, it's debatable.
People claim that it's good for you, but I'm not risking it.
I've never had it, but I try it.
Break out a bird flu.
I was just about to say, as someone that hates throwing up, I'm not going to do the raw milk.
But yeah, I mean, I just feel like you're giving.
I don't even know where the fuck I get raw milk.
There was a fight. Was it Cheeto? Who's the one who said that he? No, Cheeto was the oat milk guy, right?
Yeah, I could see Cheeto drinking raw milk.
There was a fighter who said that he was a raw milk guy on the show. God, I see his face. Who was it?
It's illegal as well. And a few
was it Tim?
Is it? It's illegal?
Yep.
Shout out.
Yeah, I don't know. That feels like a lot of effort, but
good luck to this gentleman in the DMZ. Did I answer?
You did.
Yeah, I did answer the second question.
Are you a urinal at all guy, Ariel?
Yeah, it's fine.
Are you a urinal at all guy?
It depends. I
mean, me and Ariel ran into each other.
Yeah, but I'm not gonna.
He stalled it. Locked
yeah, because I don't want to stand right next to you. Like, there's a whole bathroom there.
Okay.
Is that weird?
There was one guy next to me at the urinal, and Ariel From the stall, we started having a conversation. And this guy was just in the middle of it.
By the way, I didn't realize that there was some. Was there someone there the whole time, or did he come?
Whole time. Ariel walks in.
He
What's
turned
up,
his
man?
head and looked over
How
at
are
the
you? As he's slamming the stall door shut and locking, and he's just like, "How you feeling today, dude?" I was just like, "I'm good, man."
You should have left and let him talk to that other guy.
Well, I did leave after a while.
What's the proper etiquette? No speaking?
You just cough?
No, you can speak, but we did have to acknowledge the other guy in there.
I feel like you can't speak until you're at the sink.
I had a
That's my
guy
rule.
today, speaking of 3 urinals, me on one end, dude on other end, guy comes in straight in the middle. I was like, that's a play right
what
there.
the hell is that? I mean,
that's a play.
there are 3 urinals
That's
for
aggressive.
a reason. They're not like...
Yeah, there's 3 urinals for a reason, so you have a buffer urinal in between you and the man on the other end.
Some plumber set it up because, gotta have a buffer.
Gotta have the buffer urinal.
I
Come
would
on.
prefer not to have a conversation until we're done and we're at the sink.
I was going to say
who always
sink
starts
is
a
when you
conversation
typically begin the urine.
That's my.
Can I also say that
bathroom talk.
diabolical behavior is urinal, pull out the phone?
Of course.
I've
What is
done it
that all
before.
about?
I've done it before.
What is that all about?
I'm addicted. I'm a sick addict.
I'm on that
Are you guys a
arena, baby.
spitter in the urinal? I asked.
Yeah, Rick goes no hands. Rick goes no hands at the urinal, and he just MTG arenas it. He goes up to the middle urinal with the MTG. Like a kid in the urinal, his pants already down. He just walks
My
up.
pants are at my ankles. I actually just go in the
Yeah.
sink. I go in the sink with the MTG arena.
Hands at the ankle, ass
looks so
out,
uncomfortable.
MTG arena playing. Everyone else is just like, who the fuck is this guy?
I've marked my territory back there. I actually don't go to the urinal at all. I
All right,
always go stall.
Spent too long on
bathroom.
You guys urinal cake guys? How do we feel?
No urinals ever.
No urinals ever? Wow.
Straight to stall.
I'm cool on the cakes,
I'm
man.
fine. I'm fine with urinal.
I don't want
No-
that.
no-
Especially with
no
my
cakes,
kids, like with the boys, like it's just easier, you know.
Yeah.
The funny thing is that when you have young boys, they will go to urinal and like completely pull their pants down.
Yeah, that's what
That's
we
what we
were
were just
saying.
talking
That's
about.
what
Okay.
Rick
That's
does
what
when he's
I do.
playing-
Do it?
when he's playing MTG Arena at the middle urinal. He pulls his pants all the way
I
down.
get naked and just.
There's nothing
whip out
like
the MTG.
you're walking in a struggling dad and like his kid has just got the pants all the way down. You're like, all right, I'll just wait outside.
Mr. Mystery Balls, shalom.
Perfect.
Shalom aleichem, habibi. I mean, no disrespect toward the UFC. I genuinely enjoy their content and recognize their sensitivity to criticism. But I have to ask, why is Kron Gracie still in the UFC? It's baffling that they continue to back him and even give him significant opportunities after his last disastrous performance. Meanwhile, they let go of real talent like Muhammad Makhayev and keep fighters like Aljamain Sterling and Movsar Evloev buried on the prelims. Sure, some might argue those fighters are boring, but what exactly is Kron bringing to the table? Maybe they like the Gracie name. What can I say?
Also, I think it's a little bit harsh. One performance to be like throw this guy out. I don't know. That doesn't feel right.
The main card feels weird. You should have the Mosar Aljo on the main card.
Oh, I definitely
Couldn't
agree
agree
with
more.
that. I mean,
It's a
don't get me
massive
started on
fight.
the card placement. shit.
Essentially
I
like
think
a
it's the most dumb thing.
Number one contender at 145?
It doesn't really
Up
matter.
there.
Yeah.
Card placement doesn't matter. It's useless.
Well, I mean, main card versus prelims, though.
Still don't care. But
They all get paid the same.
it's all the same.
If anything, if you're a fan of Aljo, you should be happy you're not
It's
having
free.
to pay pay-per-view prices.
Well, you're going to pay for it anyway.
Crone.
Maybe not.
I don't think you. It sounds like he just wants Crone cut. I don't know about that. That feels harsh
Nah.
for one performance. He also, again, he's a Gracie. He has the Gracie name. And truth be told, he's a sick grappler. Like if the last fight was a striking thing where it just wasn't going his way and he's butt scooting and doing all that, but like when he grapples, he's somebody to actually want to watch. So I don't.
Also,
I don't buy
you
that.
do say one performance. I mean, he's only had one fight in the last 5 years.
Yeah,
That's absurd. Wow. It's been 5 years, huh? Wow.
One fight since October of 2019.
Okay, just a couple more. Steven Seagal Sensei. Hi, Ariel. Your words in Sunday's email deeply resonated with me. My empathy for the Jewish community has grown even stronger recently as I've been exploring books on World War II. I'd encourage everyone to read Ordinary Men by Christopher R. Browning for a close and unsettling look at the atrocities suffered by the Jewish community during those dark times. To balance the heaviness of that book, I'd recommend pairing it with Man's Search for Meaning by Viktor Frankl. One book reveals how ordinary people can become instruments of tyranny under the wrong circumstances. The other offers insight into enduring even the most unimaginable hardships brought on by that same tyranny. Understanding is the best path to empathy, and we need more of that now. Stay strong, Helwani. Brighter days lie ahead. Shama. Love it. Thank you, my friend. Yes, I appreciate that very much. Carlos, has anyone watched the new MMA series on Netflix, The Cage? What are your thoughts?
Never heard of it.
Yes.
Oh, I haven't seen it.
Have you guys watched it?
Never
I
heard
watched one episode where not only George St. Pierre is in it,
Yeah.
but big Ariel Helwani in it as well. And I have to say,
You're in it?
They really big up like the whole like.
It was cool, right?
The MMA Hour music hits,
Yeah.
and then like
Streets
it
of
goes
New York.
it goes to the streets of New York. I was like, this is sick. I remember when we filmed this.
Can I break the fourth wall for people? For the and you know what we're talking about, right, Rick?
Yes, I remember.
Have you? I haven't been able to watch the whole thing.
I'm not gonna lie. Is it not a French show?
It's French, yes.
Yeah, and it was dubbed. I was like,
yeah.
Dubbed
I was
for
like,
the
these
US
guys'
audience.
mouths aren't
Yes.
matching up. But the way Pierre set it up, he's just like, I know just the guy. And then the MMA music starts, and then it goes to New York. I was like, this is fucking crazy.
It's
this
wild.
Is amazing.
It's wild. It's my my I don't want to call it. What would it be? Not theatrical, like my scripted debut.
It's your Netflix series debut after making your Netflix sports debut.
And I think that actually came out before the fight. I will just say, so what was interesting about it, you guys know this, so they reached out about it, and yeah, I've said no to some of these things, but it was a pretty easy lift because we just got to do it from the set here. Well, actually, it was at the old place. What happened? Wait.
You say easy, but now you're about to explain it.
That it wasn't
and it's
that
not so easy.
So yes, there was some trickiness. If you watch the clip, I wonder if we could play it. But anyway, if you watch the clip, it's me talking to George St. Pierre. Well, the trickiness is, and this is now the magic of movies. That clip, the George interview, was sent to us beforehand. I wanted to actually just do an interview with George, like a fake interview with George, right? Per the script. Instead, they sent us the George interview with him pausing in between, which is actually tougher than it may seem because you have to time your questions and the whole sort of flow and cadence to how he's answering things. And there's a time where he like jumps in and he's moving.
Tough.
So we had to do it a bunch of times, like maybe like 10 times.
And he also sent it formatted vertically.
Yes, vertically.
We needed
which
it
which
horizontally.
we would never do.
We would never do
Ever do that.
vertically.
And pisses me off. And
I just remember that day. It was so funny. The amount of times that like St. Pierre would just, you would run and you get railroad by him. It was so good.
Oh my God. It was tough. But in the end, I think it actually comes out looking pretty good. But yes,
that was one of the more impressive things I've seen you do, if I'm being honest. To pull that
really
off, because it was pretty impossible.
Yeah, it was tough. Plus, I had to remember all the names. Oh,
Yeah.
Kevin and the characters involved. And I didn't really see, I had not read the script. They just gave me like a fake script that I had to fake. It was fun. I appreciated it. Great times and a nice little. And some people have been hitting us up about it. So, yeah, thank you very much. Go check it out, The Cage on Netflix. John Jones is in it as well. Jamrock Juddy. Hi, Ariel. I really hope you can respond to this, being that it's been a big topic this past week, as well as a big deal for me in my life personally. The way you spoke about McGregor's case this past week felt like a politician's response to a journalist's question regarding what they will do when elected president. You've gone off on other people in the fight world for much less regarding the circumstances, but I, as well as many others in the YouTube viewers, feel like you didn't really want to go in on McGregor, being that he's the cash cow, and calling it unfortunate news and other phrases that equate to someone's grandmother passing away or a bad visit to the doctor's office, when in reality, this is a much bigger problem in society. Especially with the stature and infamy of McGregor, it feels like you're not condemning Conor for his actions due to your personal relationship with him, and would like to see you come at him the way you've done with others who've committed lesser crimes. Okay, so let's talk about this and let's end on this one. And I appreciate it and won't hide from it. I see people saying that. In fact, I will say a lot of it, I do believe, is a self-fulfilling prophecy, because I saw people saying, I bet you won't, I bet you won't, I dare you to talk about it, when of course we were going to talk about it. We talked about it when the trial started. We talked about it midway through. We talked about it at the end. We talked about it at the conclusion. But people believe, oh, just because of the fact that I've interviewed Conor, I've had him on the show, he's been good to me, we have some kind of working relationship. We're not the best of friends. I've never been to his house. I've never had dinner with him or anything like that, but obviously a good working relationship, that I wouldn't talk about something like this, which is absolute lunacy. We've talked about all the transgressions up until even in 2020 when there was an incident that was out there. It was this incident that was coming up, and it couldn't be talked about because it was still in the potential investigation criminal phase. So you'll recall initially his name couldn't be mentioned and whatnot. I was sitting in front of him prior to the Donald Cerrone fight in Las Vegas and asked him about it in a room of like 30 of his team members and 0 of my team members. ESPN had no one there with me, and I asked him about it. In any event, I know people were going to say it's impossible to please everyone. I think Uncrowned, like I said earlier, did a great job. I think PT in particular did a great job. And I think everyone who has talked about it or reported on it or commented on it has done a great job. But this is about me. And I see people saying, you've gone way harder on other people. Tell me about the people that I've gone harder on. There's another question here about Luis Pena, who had a similar incident. Did you see me go off on Luis Pena? Am I that type of guy? Am I that type of journalist? Let's talk about Jamal Hill, who made, very serious kind of comments, whatever, about me, that I even bring up when he got into an issue, a personal family issue. Did I bring that up? Did I even comment on it? I didn't even tweet about it, to the best of my knowledge. Didn't talk about it on the show at all. Okay? What you're all referring to, I know, is the Dana White situation. Now, the Dana White situation was something that we saw on camera happen. We saw the actual act happen on camera. And let's not beat around the bush. The relationship between Dana and I is a very personal and sensitive one. And for 2 days after the incident came out, I didn't say a thing about it. And even on Twitter, I didn't comment on it. I retweeted a bunch of articles and commentary on it, and I waited to the show so I can collect my thoughts to talk about it. And the crux of the issue, if you go back to that, people say I did a whole 3-hour breakdown. Not true. That's not true at all. Again, all this is just fake bullshit that people want to bring up and lie about. Didn't do a 3-hour show. It was before our award show. I'm sitting there. I think we did 45 or so minutes at the top of the show, and then we took a break and went to the awards. And I talked about it from a place responding to someone who once said, what are your kids going to say about you? What are they going to say about you? And so that was my response back to him. That's personal. That's next level. That's something that I don't think anyone should talk about. Never talk about someone's family, never talk about someone's kids. That to me is out of bounds. And so that's where I was coming from with that. If you go back to that show, you'll remember that I never said I'm calling for his head. You'll remember that I never said, I have to go back and watch it to the best of my knowledge right now, and you guys could correct me if I'm wrong. Never said it was disgusting, never said he should be fired, never said anything. I said there should be a comment, and I don't believe in cancel culture. I just want to see them address it. And I said it's a dangerous game to play if you come out and don't address it, because now you're telling other people that this type of behavior is going to be allowed. And when you're going to be forced to make some kind of decision about someone who does something similar, because it just happens, it's a societal thing, it happens. What do you do then? Now, I do also remember when he addressed it, we were breaking down some of the comments, but he did sit there in front of the media and addressed everything, and he's moved on and he's talked about it openly, and that's a private family matter. Do you see me bringing it up? Do you see me hitting him below the belt? Do you see me talking about it? No, I don't do that, because I believe that there should be a line. Now, if it's pertinent to the business, if it's pertinent to the sport, fine, we talk about things, but I do believe that there should be a line. In this case, I said it was disgusting. I said it was unfortunate. I said I want to see how it plays out. He is adamant that he's going to appeal. His wife, like I said, or his partner, his fiance, has commented on it as well. There are some people who, have one say, have another say. There are some people who have said to me, like, I was only talking about the negative, would you believe? And that kind of tells me if one side is saying you're too harsh and the other side is saying you're too lenient, maybe you are in the middle and maybe you are doing something right. I understand that you can never please everyone. And in particular, when it comes to someone like Conor, people want to see, me call for his head and stomp on him. Disgusting, unfortunate, hard to read, hard to look at. And you're seeing the backlash. He has been able to rebound from a lot of incidents. Let's be honest, there have been a lot. You now have to wait and see how he's going to rebound. It's not up to me. It's not up to me to determine how he's going to rebound, but you're starting to see a domino effect that we've never seen in the past. We've never seen this before as it pertains to him. The Proper 12 news, shocking to me. I thought they were going to wait until the appeal process was over. Maybe they know something that we don't. Some of the other outlets not carrying, people painting murals of him. I've seen that as well. The video game announcement. These are all very important things and things that I'm talking about. So you want me to sit and kick him and say this guy is a clown who should never fight in the UFC. I don't know what you want me to say. There's a part of me that thinks that nothing I could say will make some of you happy, and that is totally fine. I believe we've covered this fairly. I believe we've covered this objectively, and I believe I've said how I feel about the verdict and the accusation and what happened and what the victim, Nikita, is saying about him. What more do you want? You want me to sit there for an hour and say it over and over again? Then fine. Then I'm sorry, I'm not going to do that because there's a million things that we're going to talk about. Nothing more important than this, and that's why I started the show on Monday talking about it, and that's why when the thing kicked off, we started the show talking about it, and on it goes. And so I do think this is healthy, and I have no problem taking the criticism. I've never said that I'm going to be perfect. I've never said that I'm the end-all, be-all. We do our best here covering the show, and if it falls short in some people's eyes, then so be it. I do think that some people had a self-fulfilling prophecy, and I do think some people's revisionist history of how we covered the Dana story and how we've covered other sexual assault / domestic violence / criminal offenses. Show me the time where I sat here when someone did something like that and went in on them and called for their head and said that they need. Do you guys remember that? Call me out right now. Call me out right now. I'm willing to take it. When do I do that? When do I hit someone below the belt? When do I do that? We've had the personal issues with the Brendans of the world and the Patties of the world. That's different. That's about me. But when there's been incidents like that, do I try to keep a level head and just sort of, at that point I go into news mode. I don't feel like it's my place to go into commentary mode in that point. Other people do, and God bless them, and go watch them. And other people have different roles in this game. But that's when I go into sort of like the old school journalist news role, and that's what I feel most comfortable doing in those cases. Me talking about matchmaking and fighting and posters and promos and matchups and rankings is very easy stuff. That's punditry. That's toy department stuff, as Howard Cosell once said. This is real life stuff. This is family stuff. And so that's how I feel most comfortable covering these sorts of things. And I would argue that I have been quite consistent with that. I did want to bring up the comments from D. D on Instagram stories saying, imagine a woman with her own boyfriend and child texting provocative pictures of herself to another woman's man with a family and child on the way. This woman claims to know me, yet still went ahead and sent messages and pictures of herself over and over to my man. Really? Whilst on a 3-day bender, texting excuses to her own child at home where mommy is on a Sunday afternoon, Saturday night, Sunday afternoon, Saturday afternoon, Sunday night, into Monday morning, all the while out of her face in a hotel room, dancing around in a hotel car park. What sort of woman are you? My sons will be warned. Women like you exist. She goes on. I will let you read that. Nothing or nobody will change that. She talks about the love that he has for his family. Our family stands strong. Connor and I dealt with these issues privately many years ago, as should be done in a relationship, and we have come out stronger than ever. We have 4 beautiful children now whose smiling faces and happy hearts are a testament to who he is and who we are. They, without sin, cast the first stone. So those were her first comments on what has transpired. And don't wish this upon anyone. Don't wish what Nikita has been through. Don't wish what she has been through. Don't wish it upon anyone. It's again, it's an awful story. It's an awful turn of events. It's an awful thing for anyone to go through. And when you read and watch the testimony or read about the testimony and the details from that night, it is extremely uncomfortable and like I said the first time, disgusting. Them's my thoughts. What did I just see there? Oh, I thought I just saw an overlay. All right. We need to end on a little bit more of a positive note on the Thanksgiving Eve program. Let me pick one out here real quick. Come on, give me a fun one. Give me a fun one.
Let's do it.
Give me a fun one. Give me a fun one. Well, let me see if are there any more.
There were some super chats from earlier in the week.
Oh, do you have them?
Yeah, let me grab that. One sec.
AZ Ray videos. Ray Cepho could be a decent figurehead for PFL. I feel like they need someone a little bit different, who's able to sell the fights.
So we do have a couple here that I'll just go in order.
Yeah, go ahead.
But one started with Mason Bickner. Said, would it sound better as the AH show is back? They're just adding their...
The AH show is back.
Just doesn't hit, right?
Yeah, it doesn't hit.
But at least you workshopped it. Then Metal-Faced Gamer became a heel wannabe. We're very excited about that. Thank you. Then Cameron Mitchell sent, is it possible to get video on the Spotify feed? You know, this has been asked a while.
A lot. Yeah, I skip over them because I don't want to put you on the spot.
Put me on the spot.
I don't know. I feel like that's
it's me. We could look into it.
Okay.
That's a good response.
All right.
Then we have one from Alicio Corbetto. If it's not Frank's fault, whose fault is it? Yeah, it's a good point.
It is a great point.
So it does come right back to me, doesn't it? And the last one we have here is from Sterling. Cheers, Ariel and boys in the back. Thanks for the content. I'm an American living in Toronto for a bit, and I am looking for cool places to check out. Any ideas?
In Toronto.
Correct. What was the name of that pizza place?
Danny's.
Damn it.
Danny's Tavern. Thank you for that. That's my good friend Mark Cupford and his crew. Amazing pizza. Green olives. I feel it right here. Who wants to go for some pizza?
It's got the whale.
Yeah, it's got the whale. Have you been there, Frank?
Yeah. I went last year,
that's right.
September.
So you tell me, yeah?
That was amazing. Really good customer service, really good beer on tap. Like I was very pleased with the recommendation. I had a really good night with that. And they brought the pizza between my wife and I. I was like, I don't know if we can do this. We did it. We did the thing. We rose to the challenge.
Yeah. As you've been known to do.
Yeah. Rising to the challenge.
As we have done. And what a great week it has been. A shorter week for us, no Thursday, Friday, but we have been a little bit banged up here. So for all of you complaining about too much content, here's your chance to catch up. I do want to thank one more time our good friends over at Aviron. Aviron, Aviron, active, active.com/uncrowned. There it is. You can join us on the bike right now. Our very first brand deal. How big is this for us, guys? Yes, and more to come. We've got more coming in December and January. One last shot of the bike. There it was earlier in the week. Earlier in the show. Okay, we don't have the shot of the bike, but we all remember. We have a picture of the bike, don't we?
Look at that.
Yeah, that looks like
that
looks
Rick,
like Rick.
Isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
There I am.
Look, Magic the Gathering on the screen there.
God, we gotta see if they could do that for me.
That would be sick.
That would be. Oh, look at the happy couple. I mean, look at them. You got the rower on the right. The rower is great. It's smooth. It's like you're actually on water. It's a beautiful thing. Great people. So happy they're a part of the family and happy to support them. And thank you very much to them for the support. Again, Aviron.com/
No, it's Aviron.
Okay, at the top it says Aviron.com, but later it says AvironActive.com.
AvironActive.com.
Right here, you see that? See right there?
Oh, trust me, I've seen that plenty of places.
Who's to blame for that?
That's I don't know.
Great week,
I'll
everyone.
take the blame for that.
Happy Thanksgiving. Yeah, there it is. Happy Thanksgiving. One of the great holidays. You know why it's such a great holiday, Frank?
Because it's non-denom.
Yeah, denom. So where are we going? Where are we going for Franksgiving?
I'm gonna go home and get some sleep.
Are you struggling?
Yeah.
I thought maybe you would get a second win.
No. I need more medicine.
Wow. All right. By the way, Mazel Tov to manager to the Stars, Tim Simpson. I saw he got married over the weekend in beautiful Colombia. And he had some heavy hitters there. I saw Izzy was there. Leon Edwards was there, looking fantastic in a nice tuxedo. Looked like a beautiful wedding, really. You guys see any photos from it?
Yeah, I did.
Looked
Mazel tov
fantastic.
to him.
Yeah.
Didn't know he was getting married. Must have lost the
invite. Yeah, I was gonna
save the date in the mail.
See, you're getting it. You're getting it. Isn't it fun?
That was also my fault.
Oh, that you didn't get the save the date. Yeah, no, I get it.
Congrats to him, though. Congrats to him.
Yeah,
looked great.
Oh, he looked fantastic.
Dude looked fantastic.
Amateur MMA fighter. Or maybe it's Muay Thai, something like that. Anyway, looking forward to the return of Leon Edwards. He has finally spoken up. He did an interview for one of his sponsors. So let's see. A lot to look forward to in 2025. A lot to look forward to this weekend. Like I said, Misfits tomorrow. PFL Championships on Friday. Edwards, Yafai on Saturday afternoon. Survivor Series. No UFC back next week. And we'll be talking about that all week long. Thank you, Michael Chandler. Thank you, Bryan Battle. Thanks to all of you. Thanks to all of them. Back on Monday. Same time. Peace.